Let's get you up there. Hello, people of the future. You guys who are watching in the future have to find the people of the now and say hello to them. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I thought that today was Thursday, like all day. So I thought I was off today. I was wrong. Right about 5 o'clock, I'm like, oh, it's Friday. I'm going live in 2 hours. All right, so Ron Ships, Finn Godwolf, Joseph777, you got a notification. You got a personal notification. Larry Hughes, Scott Colehart. Okay, I think that's it. Am I caught up? No, I'm not caught. Oh, no, I'm not caught up. Michelle Schulte, Sons of Wayne, Stanley S., Head Static, Warmonger, Paul Bennett, hello. Big Dog Masks, Ashley NP, Person of the Now. I like that term. I'm a person of the now. That's good. Hello, Rodney Pope, Susan Atai, DM Cash, Ella's Fire, The Haunt Dermits, hello, James Kelly, Big Dog Masks, love your troll whatever elf thing that is. That's looking really good. Lion Cook Thor, Jamie Thaxton, longest name on YouTube. Lion Cook Thor 2006, Jamie Thaxton, longest name on YouTube. It's payday. That's how you remember. That's how you know it's Friday. Nice. James Whittle, Lockhart Monster Fab, HRP 1972, Rob O'Brien, Captain Marga, Pops on the Tube, Mimi, hello. I don't know that I have seen that name before, so if you are new, welcome. Hi, we're going to make some monsters here shortly. Unknown Origin Effects, hello. Oh, David, hi, good to see you on. Tudwork Studios, A Knocks on the Moon. You guys knew I was going to do that. Cat Swift, Fright Night Theater, and I am caught up. First thing we have to do is I have to grab some molds from outside. We have to pour up some masks. So part of the unsexy work is pouring up. It's where you carry heavy rocks and you fill them with tree sap. That's what latex is. It's tree sap from a rubber tree. You harvest it in the same way you do maple syrup. Well, similar. Maple syrup, you like tap a spigot in, and for latex, what they do is they cut a circular strip out of the bark, and it weeps sap out of that, and that goes around, and then it goes to a little drip. I gotta find Whiplash, and I gotta find another mask that I forgot. Yeah, I should be better at this. Hello, Al Matra Art. Fright Night Theater, I think I saw. Hello. I know that Whiplash is like over here somewhere. Is this Whiplash? Cyclops, Clawful, Frost Giant, Calabos. Where are you? No idea what that is. It's not Whiplash. Okay. Isn't this fun, watching me look at rocks? See if I can find the rock that I want. No. Darren. Whiplash. I got Whiplash. Okay. I'm going to set him inside. I'm going to leave you guys here. Hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Hello, hello. Is there any? Can you see Whiplash? Isn't it cool how it looks like a positive sometimes when the negative is on camera? Is my lens dirty? Nope, just right out here. I'm gonna set this down. Good night. Okay, the other one that I have to get is the LED witch. LED witch. Here's what I know about that mold. It's a big one. That's right there. Okay. Let's get this girl into the room. You guys mind that I manhandle you? I just pick you guys up, carry you around. I'm not concerned with your wants or your feelings. Nope, I got stuff to do. Okay. Let's go catch up on comments, and we'll come back and pour up. Yes, shelving for molds is key. That's awesome, Cat Swift. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I have a lot of molds, Ron. I got a lot of molds. So, yes, Line Cook Thor loves Whiplash. I got about 100 molds out there, maybe a little more. It's probably like 120. Everybody else is just saying hi. Well, it's fair that you feel violated. I do just kind of just pick you guys up like, hey, you're coming with me. You know. There was a, I'm solo right now, yes. I'm kind of a hands-on, I'm a physical person. And something happened and I picked someone up. And it was a guy. I happened to pick him up in the air while I was talking to him. I used to be maybe more animated than I am now. And he said, I don't like being picked up. And he said, I'm not used to being picked up. Because he was not a small person. But anyway, yeah. So ever since then, I try to consider people's feelings, but they don't want to be picked up. But you guys, ha ha, this is what you get. Okay. I also used to like gorilla press people for fun. So, not always haunt customers, but I'm not saying it didn't happen either. Now you're going to be over here. Oh no, Shannon's on. Wait, is Shannon on? She's not on. I'm safe. Oh, cool. Headed by Sulphur Springs. Awesome. Shannon's not here yet. Hello, John C. Oh, Shannon is here. You know what? There's nothing wrong with purchasing a Krampus head, or throwing horns on something else. You know, there's nothing wrong with that at all. There is huge value in just taking a couple things and putting something together, as opposed to spending a ton of time on it and whatnot. Trying to get that level so it involves a lot of schmacking. And then there's this one. You know what's cool? When I make molds that have a flat bottom, that's cool. Haven't done that on these. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. So, okay, I have to work on a Frankenstein and a Jack Frost, so that is where Frankenfrost came from. I have to work on both of those. $80 mile Kyle. Wait, I'm old, you have to excuse me, so I have to go in here to read your actual screen name, because I have it on a big screen TV. 80 Mile Kyle, hello. Yes, Hi, it's good to meet you. I'm glad that you're new here. There's some random craziness, but mostly we make monsters, and I actually talk to you guys. Like, I make sure that I can see what you're saying and we interact. Later, my wife will be here and she'll read me your comments because I'm not as focused as I ought to be on comments because I'm also trying to do stuff. So please understand and be patient. If you have a question, then I'm sorry because I just read the flat bottom comment. I'm having a hard time not laughing. Hello, stay tuned, car care. But yeah, so if I miss a question, then just type it again and I'll get to it. Hey, Blackcraft, good to see you on. Yes. So, thing that I did today that made me seem like a creepy person, I will share with you. So I had to go to Hobby Lobby for something. I had to go to Hobby Lobby for plastic domes for, I got a Mothman that someone ordered. So I got to make a Mothman. So I should probably grab an insect and pour that up. But I don't have a ticket for that yet because my wife didn't put it up. But anyway, as I was getting out of Hobby Lobby, there was a young lady who had parked next to me. So as I'm getting out of my car, I have to the seatbelt thing doesn't rewind all the way in. So I had to kind of throw that in and then close the door. And I happened to look in her car. I didn't even know she was in there at first. I happened to look in her car and she's scrolling through TikTok. And I said, "Hey, you got stuff to do. Get off TikTok." And then I went inside of Hobby Lobby. So she might thank me or she might think I'm an immense creeper. You never know. Hello, Arkansas. Hello, James Knight. James Knight. Well, that's very cool, James. I'm glad you found me. All of my latex is in the other room. It's cold in here, but it is temperature controlled in there. Luckily, she was inside of her car with her windows rolled up. So, and I was like 3 feet away from the car. I happened to see TikTok on her as I turned, and instead of minding my own business, I said, "Hey, you got stuff to do. Get off of TikTok." I don't know. I wish people would do that for me every now and then when I get stuck on an app or something like that. Does anybody say, "Okay, I'm going to get off Facebook and do this thing," and then your hand is automatically opening up Facebook 30 seconds later and you're mad at it? Weird. Because I equate Facebook with work, so try to not overwork. I fail. Big dog, I was actually in my juke, so I didn't have the Godzilla horn. I was in my juke. LED Witch has LED teeth, well, tiny pumpkin teeth, so I got to make sure I paint those in. Now here's something awesome about pumpkin teeth, okay? If you use pumpkin teeth in your mask and the teeth come out, you just glue a pumpkin tooth in there. So that's kind of awesome. I like that. So a dead pull is way less common. I'm just brushing around to make sure. Okay, there we go. I believe that that is a good tooth coat painted in. And then there's the rest. The hills are alive with flowing latex. So this was not made on my head form. This was made on someone else's mask making form. So there was no way to mold it even all the way. Now I can go back and fix that, and I will one day, but or maybe not. I might just do another one. But yeah, so I have to kind of keep this one tilted so that I can get it won't pour out of the neck when I get the right amount on the head. But your options for a latex like half mask form are kind of limited. We'll have to come back and brush this up because I don't like that behind the ear. We'll have to fix that, and we'll cover it with plastic. In order to not waste my plastic, what I do, and the plastic is going to keep the skin from forming on it. If I just do that, then I can lay this on it. Now my plastic is keeping, you know, most of the air away, but yeah, you know what I mean. I learned that from someone on Latex Mass Central. Like this year. I learn new tricks from other dogs. He has 2 tusks that I have to make sure everything else on him is pretty easy peasy. Even though he's got a lot of face tail. This is Whiplash right here that I'm working on. And those 2 tusks, my brush is not, and what I'm doing right now is I need to fix air bubbles. If air is trapped in there, then latex won't get in it. So I have to make sure that the latex can get into those teeth. If I just do that, I'm using a zip tie to stab in there. And that agitates it enough where the air can rush out. Kind of climbs up the zip tie. Okay. Great, super. We're going to do that. We're going to catch up on comments, and then I'm going to go grab another bucket of latex. Yeah, air horns are fun. Sweet, you're making arrangements for camp. That's awesome. Are half mask options limited? How? I don't know what I said. What did I say? Oh, okay. So when you're sculpting on a half mask bust, like for sculpting, sometimes they're set up to where you can't mold all the way down to the table. So your mold isn't going to be an even bowl. There's going to be a dip on one side of it. You can only fill it up to that dip. So I don't like those head forms that make you make a mold that's not flat on top. Pain in the butt. Andy, this is not Pumpkinhead I sculpted the other day. I hope to be able to finish that on Sunday. And I might go live on the new channel, Stilt Beast Live, to test out on Sunday. It's been created, Stilt Beast Live, but there are no videos yet. So it's out there. I'm pouring things up right now. And then while they're pouring up, I'll have 2.5 hours to knock out these other 2 masks. All right, there we go. More latex. More latex. Hello, Rodolfo Ordonez. The next time that I have Rue over, we're going to pour up an Anubis. We're going to pour up a bunch of stuff. When I'm pouring, I pour up exactly what I need. When someone else is pouring, I say, hey, I got a list of stuff for you to do. Because rocks are heavy. So that's a Krampus right there. Someone asked about what was red behind you. There's a Krampus there on that table. All of my dogs have just wandered in. That means my wife might be here. Wife? Nope. That means they just ate. Okay. Let me go on like a blister in the sun. Let me go on. Big hands, I know you're the one. Don't know where that came from, guys. But there you are. What a violet femme. Yeah. Is it violet femmes or violent femmes? Violent femmes is funnier. It's violet. Wait, you guys are opposing each other. Listen, I'm not going to be responsible for your livers if you guys want to drink every time I sing. Not gonna. It's not a good plan. Like, as a life coach, I'm going to say that's a bad idea. And if I'm your life coach, that's also a bad idea. Okay, here we are. There we are, princes of the universe. So we talked about like guilty pleasure movies the other day. We're going to talk guilty pleasure TV, Highlander the series. I loved that show. I loved it. When I was a younger man, I looked a little bit like Adrian Paul, but not a lot like him. Oh no. No. I'm not. No POTUS. It's going to be a YouTube channel. It's going to be a YouTube channel because every time I post a live video on this channel, I lose subscribers because the people that I picked up, they like to watch 15-minute edited videos, and then they see a bunch of. And for every one of those I do 5 4-hour-long shop videos like this. Well, 3-hour-long in the shop videos like this. Alexa, countdown 2.5 hours.
2 hours and 30 minutes, starting now.
So, yes, then like, well, this is not as interesting. And they get notifications for every, well, some of them do, some of them don't. But yes. If you get 4 notifications a week for videos you're not interested in, and 1 notification for something you might be interested in, they're going to bail on me. So I understand. I will accommodate them. Zoot Riot. Hello, Riot Demon. Throw back a bottle of beer. Zoot Riot. Run a cold vehicle black hair. almost all of that song that I know, I sing. Every time I read your name. Yeah, I love those trick-or-treat ornaments. I've got them too. So, swords? How do we get to swords? Happy birthday, Andy Iyer. Happy birthday, Andy Iyer. Happy birthday, Blackcraft. There you go. HBD. That is Edson. That is the most low-key, least possible effort. Happy birthday. I love it. Hey, thanks, Rodney. I'm glad you like that Krampus. Well, in case I'm not paying attention, Suzette, you tell me when your Alexa goes off. He was a good second, and they made a lot of nods to having Christopher Lambert on. I used to work with a guy at Dark Hour named Mike Ramirez, and anytime he would ask me a question, I would go, "Why, Ramirez, you cruising for a piece of ass?" All the time, and he had no idea what the reference was from. And it's from Highlander, by the way, when he's being arrested, I think. Did you like the Sheena Easton episode of Highlander, or did you just like the Sheena Easton? It is live, but nothing is on it yet. Like, it's an active channel, but I haven't put anything on it. Yes, DM Cash. Yes. Andy Iyer. That makes more sense than Ayer. I will. I just have to. I'm just going to do them on a different channel so that then people will get the streams on the channel, and it doesn't cost anything to subscribe to two, so I gets it. It was Blackcraft 27. Their birthday is today, and Andy Iyer's birthday was yesterday. Queen killed that soundtrack. This is what happens, by the way, when it's just me. I spend so much time catching up comments that I don't work on masks. But also, I feel very much like you guys are my friends, and let's face it, like right now, we're a little people deprived, and I like hanging out and talking with my friends. Everybody, when I see you at like trade shows or whatever, what I really want is I want you guys to wear like a badge that has your image that's right here. I want you to have that on a shirt so I know who you are, because I won't put them together. Like, I know what some of you guys look like, but even then, like, if I saw Cobwebs, I think, at the show, I might be able to say, "Hey, you're Cobwebs," but you know what I mean? This image, Cobwebs' lady is who I associate Cobwebs looking like, because that's the picture, Well, okay, I haven't put any content on it. It's there, but it's not easy to find because YouTube is not going to think you're looking for it. Your daughter is probably right, Andy. I hate to say that. I'm old. It happens. They're outdoors behind the shop. It's got a roof over it, but no walls. So it's like a room. I'm going, Riot Demon, I'm going to. Don't tell me how to live. I'm going to add it. I haven't done it yet. Like I said, I'm going to do some tests this weekend. Okay, this is a Frankenstein that Rue has done like 80% of the paintwork on. Now I'm going to go in and airbrush it. People will think that I'm the hero, but really I'm just riding on Rue's coattails. Hope that Rue didn't hear that, because he'll never let me live that down. I think glitter has a time and a place, okay? I'm not glitter's #1 fan, but I don't think glitter should not exist. Hello, Don Prather. Hello, my night is going well. I'm glad that you could be a part of it. Turn on the compressor. Hey Realms, good to see you on, sir. Zoom soon riot. Remember that song Stray Cat Strut? I like that song too. I don't know any more of that either. Let's play What Color is in the Airbrush Now? It's blue. Well, I wish I were painting Jack Frost, but I'm not. So, yeah. Rock this town, gonna rock it inside out. Yeah, I remember that. What color blue? Hold on. Okay, so Bob Boyd, what color did I use on it? The color that I use is this ink, and it is Baja Blue. And the key to what I did was I sealed it first. The first thing I did was I gave it a coating of Liquitex varnish. I gave the mask a coating of varnish first so that it was kind of glossy. And then it was very easy to wipe off, and I could really control how much I put on. I started that trick on my teeth in order when I was doing the wax, but then I started doing it for rub outs too, because the rub outs can be a little aggressive and be real grabby. So having them defended against a little bit by the varnish helped wonders. You play upright bass or bass guitar, Edson? You look like an upright bass kind of guy. Frostenstein! I did say rub out, Kenneth Booth. I did say rub out. Boy, Taunt, that's been a while. I've been busy with work too. Cleaning my airbrush. Chop, chop, chop. Cleaning my airbrush. Chop, chop, chop. That one's for my homies. It's carburetor cleaner. I love that Paul Bennett, the guy who is deaf, is encouraging me to scream in an ungodly fashion that'll hurt all of your ears, and he can just chuckle. You got me on the big screen. Awesome. Okay. I was speaking with someone in the shop the other day, and I'm trying to put a pair of gloves on, and I must have tried for like a minute straight just to put gloves on and talk like I'm doing right now, and it wasn't working. They were medium gloves. These are not medium hands. My friend Dan calls me Edward Sausage Fingers. These are not me. These are XL glove hands. What is that in front of the box? Oh. Okay. So what this is this is the Skaven mask. This is a rat. My Krampus hat was sitting on it. So this is a rat. But the ears are EVA foam, you know, and I need to invoice someone for this because they were interested in it. It took me a while to dig it out. fell. All right, now, none of y'all be checking out my caboose. Do I have any more what? Of the rat? Well, I have a mold for it. Yeah, rats on the site. Cleaning the blue out of the airbrush. Ooh, I gotta turn on my air scrubber. The rat blank is on the website. The blank is not a finished mask yet. We'll have a finished one on the website here in a couple days. Hello, wife. Wife is here. Three turtles and a rat. I could. I was talking to Cobwebs.
That's Cobwebs doing.
He's good. Just running out this until it's a little more clear.
Grab a drink.
Okay. Now, here's the good thing about black as a color. Are you done in there, love?
Yes.
I'm gonna close that door then.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here's a good thing about painting with black next. Black will beat up any other color that was in the airbrush. If I was painting with like yellow, then I'd have to get it pristinely clean. Yeah, the blue ink is pretty strong stuff. And I'm going to take black and add some alcohol to it so that it's not straight black. But I'm going to put in black first.
Warmonger is always the first person.
Warmonger has Jonesy sense.
She does. She does. No, it looks like you're painting your air scrubber blue.
Yes. Well, whenever I put that much of one color in the air, I am painting it blue.
Roy?
Grab me a paper towel.
Here's Jonesy. We had a vet appointment yesterday. As for dinner, we're taking him to the vet.
He hated it.
He hated it. But he has forgiven us, and now he loves to see it. Yes, Susan, a tie.
Can they see Jonesy?
Hang on. Here we go. This is Jonesy.
What do they say the Lion King music when they hold him up in the air?
Hey-ya!
Hey-ya!
Oh,
And then you throw him off a rock. That's how that works, right?
you like that at all?
No. No, I don't think he liked the African chanting while you were holding him.
Jones had a vet appointment yesterday, but it was just his yearly to get all his shots. He was mad.
I asked the vet to have his honorary removed, and they refused.
He did that last year when he was a kid.
Those were his testicles, not his honorary. He is still plenty honorary.
Oh, warmonger. It's like a 26 string every day. pouring would the same work if latex was used or if it's too thick?
Hit me one more time.
You know, when you mold a ball or a spherical object, you usually attach a pour spout or a vent hole to release air when pouring. Would the same work if latex was used, or is it too thick?
It's thicker, but it'll still work. You can actually vacuum a little bit up on your tube if you want, but it all depends on your viscosity. But I mean, it doesn't hurt. I don't like. I mean, if you don't have to do it, then don't, because cleaning up a pour spout is not as fun.
Dan Corson, I'm going to use my Harbor Freight 25% coupon tomorrow. Pipe roller, here I come, making 10 hoops for a vortex tunnel.
Wow, awesome. You ain't scared. Kill it.
Suzette Bradley says I have 8 inside cats and 2 outside cats.
That's a lot of cats.
Susan Attai loves Jonesy. We love you too. Night, Realm says, how much do you think? Realms, type it again. Yeah. Type it again, Realms.
Okay. She can't make it out, Realms.
Realms, don't make me work, brother. Please type it again. Type it slowly and correctly so I can read it and get you an answer. I'm glad to do it.
We want to help you.
Bob Bowie, by the way, for some reason, Loctite takes longer to skin in Illinois than Texas. Kind of have it all over my fingers.
Well, only poke it once to see if it has skinned yet. And it's probably temperature related right now. It's colder out than when I was doing that work. Or there's less moisture in the air. What's that, honey?
Eddie Cruz says hello and good evening.
Okay. Yeah, so this weekend I'll be playing with the Still Beast Live channel, and I'll be playing with some new microphones. I'm gonna try, and once we go to the live channel, it'll be the multi-camera setup the whole time. I don't want to do it one camera anymore. Let's commit to this sucker and do it right. Okay. I do woodwork. I've done some glass work, but not a lot. I don't do a ton of metal work because I don't weld, so I don't do a ton of metal work.
Gregory Hayes says, sounds great, Alan, bringing the live to a new level. Tutwork Studio says, I thought Stan did great for his first sculpture.
He really did. He did a wonderful job.
Blackcraft says, stupid question. The new live channel is under Stilty Studios Live or YouTube, right? Make sure I can subscribe.
Well, I haven't launched it yet. I'm going to put a link on this channel in some video descriptions as soon as it launches, okay? I'll make sure. I'll also put a link to it on the Still Beast Live Creepers page. So that'll be on there. You will get the info as soon as it's ready. So there you go. Oh, I did this for you. What I did was I airbrushed half of the face. See how this side has a little more drama to it? And it has those shadows from the airbrush? And then this side doesn't? This side's not bad, but this is a little, this side's a little stronger, you know? And that's what the airbrush is doing. I'm using it at a minimal level.
Blackcraft says, Alan, I can weld for you.
Well, okay. As soon as I have some welding work, I'm gonna hit you up.
There you go, Ron. Says, how much do you think the rat gun will cost if I ask to have it built?
Okay. Do the math. It's a half mask, $75. That's how much a half mask is. It's a half mask size, half mask, so I don't mind $75. To finish it, I need to put hair on it. So 75, 25 more is $100. I got to put EVA foam ears on it. That's $25. So it's 75 plus 50, or 125. And then if you want it foam filled, that's 25, $150. There you go.
Unknown origins. I missed something. Did you use blue or black as your base?
This is gray. I mean, so the base paint on it, I painted it black. And then it was dry brushed with dark gray and then light gray, and then we add white to that to do that final layer on there.
Well, let's see. Eddie Cruz. Why the name Still Beast? Does it have any meaning?
I'm a beast on stilts. I make a lot of stilt monster costumes. Stilt monster costumes, stilt beast costumes are kind of what I was known for way back when. And then I kind of broke off a little bit, but now I make a lot of stilt monster costumes still. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed my TED Talk. That was a close one.
There's somewhere we can see said beast.
If you go to the Stiltbeast Studios website, stiltbeaststudios.com, we have a section on stilt monsters. What do we have a section on?
Completed costumes, still costumes.
Yeah, completed costumes. They're on there. You go to my personal Facebook page. I've got a bunch of pictures. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go in the other room and check the filing cabinet. While I'm doing that, do you have a story ready? You have something for story time?
Yes.
Okay. It's story time while I go get some hair out of the filing cabinet.
Story time with Wife and Jonesy. Shocked in my lap. I posted on the Creepers page earlier a couple of days ago. And I meant to actually do it on Krampus Knot, but again, we were all kinds of different directions. But Sunday, this weekend, Dark Hour is doing a Krampus event, which is going to be a drive-through event instead of the Christmas with Krampus event that they used to do, where you would come get a giant sleigh with Krampus and get your picture taken. And people, this thing really took off. It was so sweet because people would come in. It's a free event. We're just doing it for fun. Doesn't cost anything. People bring their kids, their pets, their grandparents. Everybody gets in the sleigh with this Christmas demon, and that's their Christmas costume. It just got bigger and bigger every year. And it was just the best event. Well, this year they're going to make it a drive-through event. So Sunday, Alan will be with Krampus, and I posted some pictures on the Creepers page. And this little girl, and we actually got we got some flack for this because people were thinking, oh, you're terrible for terrorizing that poor child. And we kind of had to explain to people that in 2013, the first time we did Christmas Krampus, you hear us talk about Bitty mold supply. We get a lot of our plaster, all of our latex, a lot of our latex and other supplies. Mitch Rogers is the owner of Bitty mold supply. He's the one who put together. He wanted to have a spot in his shop, and you can come on a Saturday and you can get your picture made with Krampus. He asked Alan to do Krampus. On the back, the lens on the back.
I got the lens.
Okay. So that's how that started. His daughter, Bork, who is a great little girl, tiny baby, you saw the first pictures. He put her, in fact, Mitch's wife, Jen, put Bork in Krampus's arms. Krampus was out. Of course, the baby's crying. And it made a great picture. Everybody, almost everybody loved it. A lot of people who did not think that was funny, and we got some flack for that. And then the next year, we had a dark hour, and Mitch brings Bork, who is now a year older, still terrified, and his wife puts this baby in the Krampus's arms for this picture. And, you know, there was the natural reaction in the audience of, you know, oh, don't do that. And then the majority of people were laughing because this is the guy, it's his dad. Or it's her dad, and her parents were doing this. And the succession of pictures that I posted, same little girl, who is now, I think, Bork's about 8. And
now she fakes being scared in
now
pictures.
She fakes, oh, I'm scared of Krampus because she loves it. But the pictures that we took of that same, it's all the same little girl year after year after year. And Mitch Rogers, who is the owner of Bitty Mold Supply.
That place is great.
That's his youngest. And so we actually did get some flack for that. Because people thought we were just, I don't know what they thought, grabbing children off the side of the street, putting them in Alan's arms. I don't know. Alan doesn't hold kids either.
Man, I hate kids.
He wants to hold a cat. So, but this event got really big, and it was a lot of fun. So Sunday, hopefully we get some pictures. It's going to be Krampus on Sunday. He'll be dressed up, and
But it's a drive-through event where you can
Yes.
drop off your Toys for Tots stuff,
yeah, it's a toy drive too.
and it's a drive-through.
Toy drive.
Yeah, this year it's a drive-through, so I ain't gotta touch nobody.
Okay.
This is for Frankenstein's hair.
Warmonger says she had always had a story ready. The truth is, I had too many stories. It's kind of hard to pick which one to do.
These are patterns that I made from that mask a while ago. If I'm going to make more than one of the same mask, it's worth it to make a pattern for the hair. So, yeah. And then the pattern goes back in an envelope. That is Frankenstein mask hair pattern. And then it goes into the filing cabinet, which is not organized in any way whatsoever. We literally just open up a random drawer and throw one of these in there. So that's a job for another day.
Cat Swift says, kids crying in Santa's lap is just one of the ideas. Parents handing their kid over to a big stranger who often smells and walking away, frightening for all of them. Hey, Rylan. Rylan Shell would like to know what is one reason you don't like plaster of Paris.
Because it's weak. It's weak, and I can't stand weakness. It's weak. It is not strong. Oh, like Ultra Cow. Weak, like Paris. Yeah. Yeah, it's not strong enough for what we do.
here's an idea. Have someone drive through the experience and video.
Well, it's really not an amazing it's not an experience. Like this is not like it's a drive-through event, but instead of coming in and taking pictures with Krampus and sitting on my lap because of the COVID, I'm going to wave at you as Krampus while you drive by and drop off a toy for the Toys for Tots drive. I didn't want the Toys for Tots people to lose their opportunity to gather these toys, but we also didn't feel it was responsible. It's not socially responsible right now to have an event with that much personal contact, 200 people waiting in line in a lobby. Now it's not the time for that.
Ryland Chow says, don't worry, my parents finally said yes to me to go to Iguana Clay.
Hooray!
Rob O'Brien, when do you need to brush more latex into your witch's ears?
Now.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks,
I'll
Rob.
tell you what, Rob O'Brien has your back.
How shoddy would my products be
Rob
if
O'Brien.
these guys just left me to my own devices?
Rob, you're the best.
You know what, honey? I should have eaten something before I came over here.
Yes, but you didn't. You said you had a little lunch.
Guess it wasn't that late of a lunch.
We'll have a late dinner. Ryan says, I can use HydroCal or UltraCal.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Kevin Booth, I remember the first time I was Santa for the fire department. I was nervous. So I was good for the first 20 or so kitties, but then that one kid, you know, that one, he peed on my knee and left it hollow. Ugh.
I would have deposited him in a garbage can.
Eddie Cruz says.
I don't mess with kids or
Rob O'Brien-
urine for that matter.
Rob O'Brien says, hashtag project manager. Rob, you're the best. Eddie Cruz, can we use Fixodent with your teeth prosthetics?
No, but there is a type called Seabond, Seabond. It comes with setting pellets, and you normally use the thermoplastic setting pellets. If you can't or don't want to do that, then Seabond adhesive is one that you can use.
Sweetmeat says, you can still do an event to raise funds just by streaming for charity.
Yes, I could.
John C. says, if a Krampus misunderstands and drives by and drops off a toy for a tot.
Well, that would be perfectly fine. That
That's
Krampus
it.
would be in good company.
When you don't have your shop monkeys, you can always fall back on us. We won't let you down, get by with much.
Hooray! I'm gluing hair on this stinking frying.
Oh, it looks good. Did you get
What's that?
that Rue's work?
Rue did the dry brushing, I just did the airbrushing.
Looks good.
Okay, I'm currently just adding contact cement to this.
Riot even says Shannon is such a supportive wife.
She is.
Warmonger says your eyes are not in the upper third.
They are now.
Hey, Grappy UK, it's the Dragon Master.
It's the Dragon Master.
Hey, Grappy. Good to hear from you, sir. Ryland Chow, are you going to make this like the Frozen Frankenstein?
No, this is a black and white Frankenstein. It was ordered as a black and white Frankenstein straight from the website, so that's what I have to make it.
It says they look nice.
There will be a Jack Frost I'm working on here shortly, but for now,
Blackcraft says the paint on this Frankenstein looks awesome.
thanks. He's meant to be black and white, so he is meant to have that classic horror movie look to him.
Ryland said, oh, the white looks a bit blue.
Probably just a monitor thing or whatever.
Thank you, Scott Goldhart. There's also
Cameras.
the title said Frankenfrost.
Yes, because I have a Jack Frost to make 2. I have a Jack Frost to make tonight.
Gregory Hayes, I missed Wednesday's Sculpt Bingo. What was sculpted?
I'm working on a pumpkin head, and Stan is working on a gin. And he did some great work. Middle, lower, upper third. Look at them eyes, YouTube. I got it.
Rodney says, I'd love to see Shannon's if you've pulled it yet.
I haven't even poured it up yet. I will probably power wash it tomorrow, and then I can pour it tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Mine has to be back, the back end of things that will have to go first. So it'll get there. I just have to.
Yeah, if no one ordered anything, like every time I get the wall down to like 2 orders, like 5 orders come in.
Which is great.
And there's no personal projects until the orders are taken care of.
So mine has to wait, but thank you.
The only time I will opt to do personal projects is Wednesdays, because I'm rewarding myself putting out a video. Except, like, well, people are under the gun for their Christmas show, and that's why I did their orders, because I'm not going to let my personal project get in the way of them getting their stuff on time.
Roya Demon, how many hours does it normally take you to do a new sculpt when not on live?
About 8 hours. I put about 8 hours into a sculpture.
Shadow Jim 81 says hello.
Hello.
Chad Smith says, so I started sculpting the fur, and I've changed it twice. I'm not a huge fan of it. I must learn.
Okay. Are you using an image reference for someone who drew fur for you to sculpt that style of fur? That's what you have to do.
Rylan Chow says it feels like the chat is going a bit slow today. Rob O'Brien says,
This will liven them up.
you should just hang some plastic eyes all over the place for the upper third. Blackcraft, when you power wash, what PSI are you using?
It is a 1200 PSI power washer, and I have it cranked down to about 3/4 power. So probably 800, 750.
Greg Watkins, does YouTube know the difference between your eyes in the upper third and a mask's eyes in the upper third?
I don't know. I have no idea. And you know what else I don't know? Every now and then, someone pops on here named YouTube. Like their YouTube name is YouTube.
Yes.
And they always say, what doing?
What doing? What up? What making?
Yeah, what making? What doing?
And then
I'm
they
like,
disappear.
hello, 5th grade YouTube person. I don't know what you are.
And then they're gone.
I don't know if they're
That's it.
official. How'd they get the name YouTube? Can you do that? I don't know.
Well, it's U space tube. Maybe that's it. YouTube is one word.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Space tube. I don't know. Are you making zombie Frankenstein?
Is that a trick question?
Chad Smith says, personal projects don't pay the bills. Money jobs first, personal later.
I'm making a classic black and white Frankenstein. He is not a zombie Frankenstein, but he's just dead enough, you know?
Ron says, the hops shimmy. Philip Earl says, shimmy, shimmy. Jimmy Kelly says, thanks, Alan. I will never get that dance out of my life.
You're welcome.
Michelle Schulte, I'm working on stuff tuned in to see the live. Thank you, Alan, for the laugh. Chad Smith says, you caught me. I wasn't working from a reference. Shame on me.
Yeah, that's why you don't like it. That's why you don't know where it's going.
Blackcraft, what's the red mask in the corner behind you?
This is Clawful. This is Clawful, who I made him during a monster camp, so I really didn't do a lot with him. I finally took a picture of him and I showed him on the interwebs, and I think he may be sold.
Well, Bennett, Alan, have you tried using the syringe for mask latex in the small areas of the mold, so not building up an air trap? Paul Bennett.
Yes, I've tried it. Let me sit down and say this. I've tried the syringe, but it's so much work to clean the syringe out time after time. It's just easier to put a zip tie in there and move the zip tie around, and that will, because the zip tie you just, and it's clean, but the syringe you gotta, it's a mess. So yes, I've tried it. It works okay, but it's easier to just do it with a zip tie.
Eddie Cruz, have you ever been reviewed by fellow YouTuber Dr. Lady?
No. No. He normally reviews creepy cheapies, creepy cheapies, and mine are not necessarily that cheap. Not that they're expensive, but I'm not mass produced.
Shadow Jim, no, can you make a zombie Frankenstein?
I guess I could, yeah. More like a Wrightson style almost.
Warmonger, you need a shirt that has random sets of eyes. That way one set will be in the upper. Kenneth Booth.
Hold on, I have to address this. No, not unless the camera's upside down. My eyes are always above my shirt, unless I'm like really doing something weird, you know? So, I need a hat with eyes on it, is what I need. Okay, carry on.
Warmonger. Oh no, I'm sorry. Kenneth Booth. Like I said, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein.
Mine is a little more modeled. I used more Glenn Strange references. Glenn Strange, look around for anybody to throw a rock. He was my favorite Frankenstein. I liked him a little more than I liked Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff is a better actor, without doubt. However, he looks too spindly for me. I like Frankenstein to have some meat on his bones. Glenn Strange was a thicker Frankenstein. My favorite look for Frankenstein was when he's in the fur vest, like from Son of Frankenstein and Ghost of Frankenstein. I think that's the best look of him. The suit jacket just looks, you know, it just makes him look too weedy, in my opinion.
Cat Swift. Often on Facebook, if you don't hit the correct settings, you only show up as a Facebook user. Perhaps something similar is like that.
I have no idea.
Ryan Chow. How to use sculpt bite wounds on the zombie mask with the tendon and flesh intertwining each other like a spider web.
Oh, okay. So you do that in layers. Actually, do that musculature layer first, and then off to the side, I will roll out like a sheet of clay, which is bigger than that wound, and then I will go ahead and I'll put in my fleshy, webby bits, which looks like chunks of flesh, and then I will put that over top of that wound area and those holes, and my other work shows through. Just do it in layers. All detail is achieved through layers.
Little girl says, now that's what I call a redhead. Stay tuned, car care. Have you tried or thought about using something like the Works Hydro Shot? Uses less water and still enough power. I use them for mobile detailing or an actual house paint sprayer, airless.
No, because that's not a problem I need to solve. The power washer works great. It works so well that I haven't needed to do anything else, you know. Now sometimes I just try something else to mix it up, but in this case, no. I mean, the power washer does exactly what I want it to do, so I don't see a need to try anything else.
Cruz says, your folks are the cat's meow. Thank you for all you do.
Hey, glad you're enjoying the live.
Eddie. Oh, I see monsters. Glenn Strange was Sam, the bartender on Gunsmoke. What a great actor.
Yes, he was on Gunsmoke.
Suzette Bradley, good name. Do you think using green on Frankenstein?
I have a green variety of Frankenstein, and I have a black and white variety of Frankenstein. Black and white outsells green like 2-to-1 though. So if you go to my website, you will see that I do both.
Below 805, always enjoy your lives, bro. Thank you.
Awesome.
From Ventura, California.
Thank you. Didn't we drive through Ventura, California?
Sure did. Ryland Chow, that snipping sound of the scissors is quite satisfying.
You can hear that?
Right, they can hear. Rob Bowie, would you consider a frozen Frankenstein version, a cross between Jack Frost and Frankenstein?
Yes, and actually,
That's a cool idea.
all
Bob.
that I would have to do is reference the Frankenstein from Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, which was played by Bela Lugosi, because he was frozen in a cave underneath, and Wolfman thaws him out. Well, Larry Talbot thaws him out because Wolfman don't give a crap. He got Wolfman stuff to do. He's not concerned with how frozen you are.
Bob says that's an idea for next year.
Yeah,
Jay
Frosty style.
Carrillo, how about an Iron Man Frankenstein mashup?
You and your mashups. You're obsessed.
Are you trimming the pumpkin head?
Pumpkinhead is not. I'm trimming the mask that will be Jack Frost. Pumpkinhead, I started sculpting it yesterday. I have not finished it yet. I have not finished it yet. It is currently a pile of clay. Zuzu Ryan, throw back a bottle of beer. I'm very proud of Rue because I know he was the last one to use the strapping kit, and it looks like he put everything back where it was supposed to go.
There you go, Rue.
Good job, Rue.
Billy USA, football as well. Keep making stuff. Eddie Cruz, your opinion on the beefed up Karloff in Son of Frankenstein?
I liked it. I liked it. I mentioned that as one of my preferred looks because, yeah, that fur vest look I think is way better.
Will you do a full paint job on pumpkin face instead of just having it as a blank?
Pumpkin face or pumpkin head?
It's a pumpkin face, but I believe Ryland means pumpkin head.
Pumpkin head will be offered as a full mask, and not just. I probably won't offer it as a half mask. I'll probably do the whole head or nothing. But the rest of he'll be mounted on a EVA foam helmet, and yeah.
Ryland said pumpkin face. Ryland, did you read the pumpkin face blank?
Because pumpkin face is on our website finished, right?
He's a blank. He's not, I don't think you have him as a blank.
But we have coordinator. Yeah. Okay, wife, I need a list from you of masks that I have to finish for you to take pictures of. Because you know what? I'm just not busy enough.
Let me fix that for you.
I have to work for you too, wife.
So Ryland, did you mean pumpkin face, coordinator, or did you mean
I now
pumpkin
make
head?
so many things it's
So,
confusing.
Let's get an answer for that. Thank you, Sons of Wayne.
What? What?
Sons of Wayne, I love you. He says, I think life needs a raise. Ryland says pumpkin face. You're right.
If
You're right. Pumpkin face, there is not a finish, and I can tell you why.
Why, wife?
In March, when we learned we were not going to Transworld, we took all the blanks that we had and we put them on the website because we thought we were cleaning house. And we had no idea that the blanks were going to take off the way that they did.
Yes.
And Pumpkin Face is about a 7-8-year-old mold
It is.
that we resurrected and just threw one out there and people loved it. The reason why we don't have a finished product is because no one's asked for, well, that's not true. That's not true. We have had one finished, but we didn't take a picture of it.
What? I'm going to talk to my photographer.
It went
Need a raise, do they?
flying out the door. Hey, that's how Old Man Winter just got thrown out the door.
All right, wife. I'm going to double your pay.
Just like Bob Cratchit. So yeah, Ryland, you are correct. You are correct. We do need a finished pumpkin face on the website. And thank you for bringing that to my attention. Many moving parts of the website. I can make that happen. No hot tub or ice cream until you make one. There you go. Marta Roblino, you're telling us Halloween decorations.
Hey, thank you. That's very kind.
Ron Monster likes the name, loves the names.
Yeah, if I named it myself, it's going to have a name like Snake Face, Pumpkin Face, Pork Face,
2020.
Wolfman 2020, Wolfman 2018.
Warmonger
Yeah.
says this is where a shirt with eyes would come in handy.
All right now, you're
Cat Swift.
there.
Drive home from work so you can get in the shop and work and he gives you more work. More wine. Thank you, Cat.
For the record, I've been working all day too, guys.
Rotten Monster, what is the oldest mold you have? Gosh, do you know? Because Pumpkin Face isn't old.
Yes, I have a pair of Yeti hands from 1997 because they were at my friend Dan's house and he sent them to me here in Texas because he's in Orlando.
Give me a little more. Kenneth Booth says, where's the jack at, Alan? Give me a little more there. Ryland says, yeah, I was going to say, that
Need more.
Pumpkin Face was old. Yes, you're correct. So Ted Bradley says, yes, darling, get to it.
Okay, here's what a square I am. Where's the Jack at? As I was pouring my soda, I'm like, Jack Frost is right here. Like, here's Jack Frost. It's in frame. I'm doing good. That's what I thought.
Stay tuned, Car Care. See that Coca-Cola sponsors need that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott Goldhart. He did the pumpkin face fillet.
I should-
Hi, Demon. Do you
I-
ever keep molds of all your masks that you've ever made?
Oh no. Mm-mm. I could build a cave for Yetis to live in if I did that. I've sculpted and molded well over 2,000 masks. Like, cleanly over 2,000 sculpts and molds. And I probably have 100 molds here. I know of about 60 molds that are at Scream's Halloween Park. And
Are you still there?
probably 50 molds that I made are at Dark Hour. So I've only got tabs on like 10% of the molds that are out there.
Mike Chesnowski, yes, you got your order. You are on the wall. Whiplash blank and LED blank, you're on the wall and you are in the queue. And you get poured up this weekend.
No, he's poured up now.
You're done. You're poured up.
Yeah, I poured him up at the beginning of the video.
Mike, you're poured up. We're just waiting for you to set so we can send you out Monday.
Yeah.
Ryland Chow. I think the generic names are better so people could name the mask themselves.
Well-
I agree with that, actually.
Well, I do too because I don't want to hand someone a story. I don't want to sell them a story. I'm selling them a mask and they make their own story.
Rude.
But there are a lot of people who, my wife is an example of this. She doesn't even care what the color looks like, but if the color has a good name, like we had something in our house was painted inchworm. Inchworm was the name of the color, and she liked the name as much as she liked the color. So there is something to be said for that. It is another point to sell people on your product if you have a good name. So it's not something to be ignored, but you can also, maybe your product is strong enough to stand on its own. Is that Rue who popped on?
Rue is on.
Hey Rue, you did a good job. You put everything back in the strapping box. Well done.
Rodney Pope says, they say if you're doing what you love, you'll know what you day in your life.
They lie. I'm just gonna say.
That's what Umimi just said.
Man.
You're so wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I do, but there are some days I'd rather nap, thank you. And you don't have that option, you know.
That's hilarious. Right as you said that, that came up.
Yeah,
Does it
that's
suck to throw out the bullets?
No. Well, it sucks to move molds. Like molds are heavy, you know. So anytime you got to move them around, it kind of sucks. but do I have an emotional attachment to them? No. And there are some molds that I have made, and then maybe I only sold like 5 or 6 of that mask. So that's kind of, you know, I might in 4 years, if it's been out there and no one has bought one, then it's time to let that mold go and make more room in my life.
How do you decide which molds to keep? Do you ever regret not having them?
The ones that sell. You keep the ones that sell. Except like Piggin, the Piggin mold. I was just a little tired of making Piggin. So that's why I decided to stop and destroy that mold. Piggin was my most popular seller for a long time.
Good night, Rylan.
Good night, Rylan. You had some great questions tonight. Thanks for popping on.
Then Godwell, hey Alan, will you ever cast the snake that you made the silicone mold of the real snake?
I did. I did. I casted those, and I've sold right about 10 of them. I sold about 10 of those snakes. And yeah, but will I make any more? Probably not. I have another way to make snakes now that's in my head, but I haven't done it. So I'm gonna do it that way. And like you guys who are aspiring haunted house prop making people, there's no one you can buy snakes from right now. Like you have the cheapo snakes from Dollar Store and Walmart, which are too cheap and too small, and there really isn't a great option for a variety of larger snakes. And I think there's some, for a while there, when rubber snakes were like a thing and you could buy them, there were some really cool snake rooms and snake caverns and stuff. And there aren't anymore because there aren't good snake vendors. It's hard to buy a good rubber snake. Who thought that there would be a rubber snake shortage? But there is.
Bruce says, I just do as I'm taught.
Hooray.
HBK Styles, what made you choose sculpting as a career? You do excellent work as always.
I don't know that sculpting is my career. Sculpting is one of the things that I do, but it is a part of the processes that have to happen. You know, I also sew, I also design, I also teach, I also do actor training. You know, I do consultation for haunted attractions. This is a part of what I do. But I started sculpting simply because the masks that I was seeing and getting didn't work for my needs. My needs being, I was a haunted attraction professional, and I needed a mask that I could see and breathe out of. That is why I started making masks. Sometimes you can cheat this, because that is so far inside of there.
Kelly Johnson says hello from Ireland. I love your videos.
Hi, thank you. Glad that you are on and joining us.
Suzette Bradley, what about rotating them out instead of breaking them down?
Well, I do, like, I rotate, I make new masks all the time. So I only want to store so many. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense for me to keep a mold that no one is buying. Although sometimes you can breathe new life into something, you know.
Stay tuned, car care. We're going to snake shortage, as long as you're not running around with a trench coat asking people if they want to see your snake. That's true. Suzette Bradley says, I want to do a Medusa mask.
I want you to do a Medusa mask.
Rude Emmett says, I got to do a whole lot of things in order to stay viable in the industry or ridiculously specialized.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Horror Beauty. She says, tell me about Frankenfrost.
It is a clever ruse. I'm making a Frankenstein and a Jack Frost. So, Frankenfrost. These are my projects for the day. Now we are ready. We are ready.
Asking about these. He's asking Scott to post the links for Alan's tools and rivets he's using to strap with. Does Scott have that?
Well, I just had a fid and had a pair of pliers, I don't know that we have specific links. Maybe he does. Scott's amazing. I don't know. This hair needs brushed out.
Tutworks, have you sold an Alan Pops original mold itself?
I've sold a couple molds, but like I'm only going to sell molds that are pretty generic, like a zombie or whatever. You know, if it's a real like unique monster to what I do, then I probably won't sell that. I'll probably leave that design and such with me. But next time.
What are the dates for camp?
The world is a tumultuous place right now. Look at me getting my eyes in the upper third. The world is a tumultuous place right now. So we're not going to announce any camp dates until I know what's going on. And I'm talking about the virus because at any point in time, Texas has already regressed from 75% open back to 50% open. And at any point in time, they could go back to shutdown or lockdown or whatever. Numbers are not getting better. Sadly, they're getting worse. And please don't talk anything political about the virus. The virus is happening, and you know it's a thing that we have to deal with. And even if it isn't happening, it's still a thing we have to deal with. So whatever your view is, it doesn't matter. There may be another shutdown, and I would hate to have a monster camp planned and then have to postpone it. So I'd rather not do that. I would rather just wait a little while and then announce my dates when I'm sure that they'll happen.
Hopefully April and maybe March.
Trans World is a big trade show that I do. I have to know what's going on with Trans World in order to know if I can do a class in that month, you know. I haven't heard anything about Trans World pushing back or changing dates or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened at this point.
Okay, Dick Elvis says, I agree about no good rubber snakes out there. That is why I thought it'd be great if you make a real snake cast available for sale. Can't get any better than a real snake home.
Well, actually you can, because real snakes are a little bit too subtle for haunted house use. So, real snakes are a little too subtle for haunted house use. And there is, what I found, even when I casted that snake, I had to go in and touch up the scales. I had to go in and do a lot of fixing on it. So honestly, maybe a little better if I just sculpted the snake from scratch. I'd have complete control over the size, all that.
What kind of glue are you using?
The glue that I used on the hair was contact cement.
Trivia. Anyone remember who Frankenstein's legs belonged to? Patrick Moses says dead guy. Kenneth Booth says, I got the answer. Do you want me to wait?
Who Frankenstein's legs belonged to? No, I do not recall.
Kenneth Booth said a football player.
Okay.
Mike is asking, thanks for the comment on my creature. It gave me so much of a good feeling. My wife had to drag me out of the garage at 3 a.m. That's good. Cat Swift, in a terrain world, they have already canceled several huge April and March and April conventions.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much bigger in 2022.
Yeah, I know. It's a rough time.
Chad Smith says, I know where the brain came from. Abby. Abby Normal.
My friend Abby.
Okay. Brain was Abby Normal. The warmonger. Yeah, Suzette Bradley. Yeah, we hope that we'll be able to to open back up in 2021? I think we will. We're gonna wait and see. We're gonna wait and see. Monster Camp is really special. So we have every intention of continuing it. It may be delayed a bit, but we're working on it. Right, David, so the leaves on the tail.
I have not yet begun to camp.
JD has tail ornaments, yes he does. Stay tuned, car care with mass straps, ever use or make leather straps with or without buckles or snaps.
No, because buckles hurt your head. As a haunted house actor, nothing is worse than putting your head back against a wall or rolling on the ground and that metal buckle digging into the back of your head or wherever it is. No, I want my straps to be as soft and malleable and comfortable as possible. I even moved away from Velcro to elastic for comfort reasons, and 2 straps instead of 1.
John C. says you would be excellent for a TED or TEDx talk. You would really inspire an audience.
That is one of my goals one day, is to do a TED talk. Like that's like on my list of goals, is do a TED talk. I would love that.
Captain Mojo asks about neoprene straps.
Haven't done them.
Chad Smith, you brushing his hair reminds me of when Steve Haynes gave Frank a haircut while you were wearing it. Hilarious.
That's right.
Steve's good.
There is some glitter in Frankenstein's hair. I gotta brush that out. It's snow, guys. It's snow. And now I do need to do a little bit of a haircut on him because I don't like this over the ears. I like to trim that up. I know that's a little ridiculous.
Oh, maybe my man needs a hair wash.
He do.
You are a scaredresser. That's right.
It is not uncommon for me to be like painting monsters' fingernails, and then I will say the term that Bugs Bunny did. You monsters must lead such interesting lives. I'd say that.
Warmonger says, I always practice my future TED Talks while using the toilet.
That's got to be creepy for your family. Or your pets.
Baba Daza, oh my God, Alan, do a TED Talk. They have TEDx Talks, which are local or something.
Well, you have to be invited. I can't just... I can't be like, oh, I'm going to do a TED Talk now. Hope you guys show up. But my eyes were in the upper third. And you don't want to just cut the hair. You kind of got to chip in like this.
Who says, see, shears are better.
I was actually just thinking that I don't like these. I'm switching. I was just thinking that.
Massive Entertainment. This is an awesome mask. Do you have a compass in the studio that you can show us? I love your channel.
I happen to have one, yes. Hold on a moment, yo.
Mike Hunt says you do some awesome work.
Thank you, Mike.
This says, Alan, we don't care where your eyes are, we're still watching.
You wait here, and I want to bring a Krampus over here into the door frame.
He says, hell yeah! There's a light, so turn his eyes on. Night, Riot Demon.
Riot Demon, throw back on the beer. It's a riot demon, run a comb to your cold black hair.
Yay! So he's heading out tomorrow.
Yep.
Very much improved. Okay. Melissa Cameron, I hope you guys are having a great night. I was just wondering if you ever use animatronics.
Yes, I use them in my haunted house, but I don't often make them or use them here in the home shop.
says, my friend did an outdoor TEDx in California. Very friendly and informal, so everyone wasn't nervous.
That's awesome.
Massive Entertainment says, what do we call that? Well, they like it. Love it. Are there any Krampus Christmas songs that you know about?
No.
Bruce says, hey, I know that mask.
Just the one that Warren Maxwell sang.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Nice Christmas demon. Cheers, says Harvey. David Quintana says, awesome. Suzette Bradley says, huge scissors. Lockhart says, I recognize that Krampus face.
Yeah.
Massive Entertainment says, thank you for showing the mask. Baba Daza says, I'm inviting you to do a TED Talk.
Well, you throw one, you let me know when, and I'll show up.
Thank God, well, thanks for putting on the dwarf boots and doing the dance the other day. That will never get old. Hilarious. Rachel Powell says, hello, late night since I took the boys to 3 separate light shows.
That's awesome.
Mike Chesnowski, you can cut the hair from across the street with those scissors.
Yeah, these don't mess around.
Massive Entertainer, you gonna add some icicles hanging from Frank's nose and chin.
No, this is just a regular black and white Frankenstein.
Suzette Bradley says that's a beautiful mask.
Thank you.
John C. says, I bet Rue can write a Krampus song. Baba Daza says, wait, where do we hear Ezekiel's music? Shred before bed.
Yeah, he's posted some on the Still Peace Live Creepers page, which is pretty wonderful.
Evan Mojo, you recommended Stan Winston for animatronics and one other channel I was not able to write down the name. Can anyone say it again?
Hallstaff Studio. Hallstaff. Hallstaff's, it might be Hallstaff's Halloween. If you go on my YouTube page, I have 2 linked channels. That's it. Hallstaff and Distortions.
Got you happening, Mojo. I just sent you the link. I don't know if I'm as fast as Scott Colhart. Alan's TED Talk. Why I hate clowns and demise of their use of haunts, says Chets.
Listen, I tried to let Transworld do, like, I submit like 5 or 6 class ideas, and one of the ones that I submitted was Alan Hops, which is about clowns and haunted houses for an hour. Like, that was the name of the seminar.
And they did not do it.
They didn't think that was a good idea. I don't know why.
Greg Watkins. Alan, a while ago you were making bug arms and pictures. Do you have any pictures of how they turned out?
I put one on my Instagram pretty recently, but no, I don't. Aside from the one I put on Instagram.
Frank would make a good frost man, though. I'm just saying, says Harmony.
Oh, everything looks good with frost on it. You know what I mean? Give it white hair and give it some glitter, and it looks, and fake snow and icicles. It looks amazing. It doesn't matter what it is.
How long have you been making monsters? Counted at 3.
We started right about 7 o'clock tonight. And what?
How long have you been making monsters?
Okay, my wife says I shouldn't mess with you. I made my first mask in like 1995 is when I made my first latex mask. That's kind of what I count as in the beginning.
Ron Shep says he looks much better with the hair trimmed back.
Yes, yeah, it really helps. And that's something that we don't do very well as makeup artists. Well, some of us do, but when they do, you pay for it. It's a lot of guys work, and it's not a priority.
Sylvan Energy Solutions. I hope I'm saying it right. Say no, you are subthinking a topiary.
Oh, it did look a little boxwood hedge-like, yes.
Ezekiel says, I will post a Krampus song early next next week. Just got a new mixer. Having it installed over the weekend is the first mix I'm going to do.
That is awesome.
Baba Daza, well, thanks to you people, Frosty the Snowman is stuck in my head 24/7. Just change the lyrics to Frosty.
Do you know that depreciation of
Sorry.
What was the first creature or character that you ever sculpted?
Bigfoot. It was Bigfoot. This is the Still Beast Live channel right here. This is the Still Beast Live. It is. It exists. It looks just like that. But it also says upload a video to get started. And I'll probably do that for the first time this weekend. Just to test. And once I have something on it, like a welcome video, then I will share the link to other people.
Rachel Powell, I needed to take my mind and the kids off my dad. He's still in the hospital and not doing well.
I am very sorry to hear that. Wife, I need to leave them in your care for about a minute.
Can you answer why? Well,
Why don't you tell them about me making my first silicone mask from your perspective?
oh my goodness.
Don't put your eyes in the upper third.
Put it in the upper third. Okay. So, oh goodness. I think Alan and I have been married about a year and a half. And Alan wanted to start making silicone molds or silicone masks. And it was summer in Texas. And at the time, like a lot of people, and for the first 13 years that he was doing this, it was in a 20 by 20 foot garage. Like a lot of people, a lot of you are doing that. So you see this beautiful shop. He's only had it for 2.5 years. But before that, he was a 20 by 20 or 20 by 30 garage. It was tight, and that was the shop. And it was not air conditioned. And to air condition it, we had to open the door that led to it, let the house in, which you go in. It was primitive, but that's where he worked for almost 14 years. Anyway, summer in Texas, so the shop is about 95 degrees at 7 in the morning. There's nothing to do about it unless you install insulated doors and all that. And because we use the doors for roll-up doors to come and go, there was no shutting down the door and insulating. Point being is that he would bring his work into the living room. Chad Smith, I'm looking at you. When you talk about bringing your work into the house, or and Mrs. Smith is not pleased with the mess it makes. I have been Mrs. Smith. I get it, I do. But at the same time, I'm not going to ask him to work out there for 12, 15 hours in 95-degree heat when there's air conditioning. So, Alan we set up a card table in the living room. The living room has carpet. It's a living room. And he worked on putting together a silicone mold. So we keep silicone in it. If you know anything about silicone, a lot of people ask us when we do a monster can with silicone. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It's so expensive. Silicone itself, the material, super expensive. Quite frankly, we were a little tight on the budget at the time, being newlyweds. We didn't have the money for it. We were going to go for it. And for like the first 3 days before he ever poured the silicone in the mold, he walked around it and looked around like he was going to fight it, because there were so many things that could go wrong, and it was an expensive mistake. In clay, you just take the wire, you cut it, you change it. But silicone, you don't. And he walked around that mold for about 3 days. Finally came time. He's going to mix the silicone. He's going to put the silicone in. And by this time, I'm as nervous as he is, because I've been watching for 3 days. And he poured the silicone in, and we're going, great, okay, exciting, great. And the bottom of the mold was not sealed to the table enough, and the silicone poured out of the bottom of the mold, flowing like syrup across the table, onto the floor, past the tarp, onto the carpet.
To be fair, that was really old carpet.
It was old carpet, but it's the only carpet we had. And how expensive was that spill? Remember, was it about $800 spill?
So my first silicone mask cost me $2,000 to make.
Goodness.
This was like Immortal Mask was not a company then.
Yeah, this was way more.
Like, CFX was brand new. CFX was brand new. They had just had their first year. And the only other company was SPFX. And I was experimenting with silicone masks. But yeah. Yeah, it was quite a process. And such a different animal than latex mask making. I've made about 20 or so silicone masks since then.
But no.
Yeah. Other people are so good at it.
Yeah.
Why would I even bother to
Just
do it?
let go.
And it's cheaper.
Why do you hate clowns and haunts?
They're the lowest hanging fruit. They're the easiest possible character for you to do. And I don't like the easy road, let's say. So they're prolific because they're cheap. And they're effective for a couple reasons, but they're overdone, they're overused. Every time that an actor chooses to make a clown character, what did they not do? What awesome new thing could they have done or invented or created or breathed life into that they didn't? They just made another freaking clown. And haunted house clown actors know clowns are overdone. And I know this is true because anytime someone tells me about their clown, it is, let me tell you about my clown character. It's different from other clowns. The second sentence is always, it's different from other clowns. Always. Because they know there's too many clowns. And it's not different from other clowns. But I'm too nice to tell them that. But I'll tell you, because you guys can keep secrets.
Barbara settled slowly says, no stress here, what? Brett Hayes. Hello, Brett Hayes.
Hey, Brett Hayes.
Are you also planning to launch an OnlyFans? I'm asking for a friend. Brett!
Here you go. Are you ready?
Oh, no. Stop!
I got the shimmy.
Stop that. Philip Earl would like to know where are the cookies?
Just Patreon. Just Patreon. No OnlyFans.
No, Brett. Have you seen Face Off?
Yes, I've seen Face Off. I think I've seen every episode there ever was of Face Off. I love that show. It would have been fun to have been on, but by the time I was able time-wise to do it, they canceled it.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says, epic rap battles of history, Grinch versus Krampus.
That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
So I'm going to take a moment, because I was about to reach for some glasses, and I got a little package today. And in that little package from Amazon, it was from Rachel Powell. And I'm going to have a hard time reading this without these glasses, but it says, here's a few more pairs of glasses to add for your inventory. I can never find glasses. Thanks for lifting our spirits, from Rachel Little. So Rachel, thank you so much for the glasses. And I understand there might be a granny chain or something.
Jill Von Gray, hello, it says, Frank.
So here are glasses. And then right over here.
Hello, Scarecrow 77.
I
Mr.
have.
Mama says, the shimmy was worth the price of admission.
That's right. Yeah, some places have to pay extra for that. I should have a little strap for the glasses, but you'll be shocked I can't find that either. Let's see what kind of frame she picked out for me. This is like a smoke gray. Look at that.
It says, all hail Rachel.
Smoke gray frames.
Jim Harrington, Alan, I need your ideas and input if you'd be so kind.
Hit me.
Making a Frankenstein-esque character, kind of like the one from the Van Helsing movie. Half neck, half reanimated corpse. I need costume ideas.
Well, I would go with what they've traditionally done for Frankenstein quite a bit, and that's some kind of a trench coat or overcoat. And right now is a great time to find one of those at Goodwill. I love trench coats because they can set a time period. If you give them that double capelet, then you're Victorian. The trench coat itself, the styling of it can give you a time period for that character and inform the audience right away. But also, it covers a good portion of the body, so you have less costuming to do. But also, the way that it hangs, the way that a trench coat hangs on you, it actually, you're able to do some cutouts in that and put like patches of fake skin. So doing your Frankenstein character, you can cut parts away and whatnot. So yeah, I would say step 1, cool boots. Step 2, incorporate a trench coat. And then you can do latex patches inside of the costume so you slip on a special effects effect. And that time saver is going to save you. No eyes in the lower third. I'm terrible at this.
Cobweb says, clowns are the pitties of the monetary universe.
They're the what?
The pitties of the monetary universe.
Yeah, because there's just so many of them.
Rachel Towell, you are very welcome. I don't know if they have a brain chain, but I love the one pair because they are beast mode color.
Aren't they fetching? And this one I'm putting on now is a gloss. And that's going to make this wound up on his head glossy, under his eyes glossy, and his lips glossy. A little bit of snot too, right there. A little bit of shine.
Hockey 79, am I able to send a Christmas gift to you guys?
You certainly can. Sure. Our address is on the website, Stilpe Studios website. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
We have 1 hour and 1 minute left on your 2 hour and 30-minute timer.
Perfect.
Jim Harrington, would the cost be better as leather or cloth for some variety? And thank you.
For the cost?
We're going to have to back up and see. Jim Harrington was asking about Frankenstein-esque character.
Yeah.
Costume.
Yep, that's what I talk about, the trench coat. I mean, I would go to the thrift store, and you're kind of at the mercy of what they've got. But even if you get a cloth trench coat, buy a couple leather purses and like the sections of buckles and things, and just put it on in patches. One of the coolest trench coat costumes that I did was I took a bunch of purses and shoes and boots that had buckles on them, and I made a whole spine, so it looked like the spine of the back of the coat buckled together, but it was just attached afterwards, over the back. So, yeah, look for a base garment, and then jazz it up with other stuff you find at a thrift store. Eventually, on some video, I'm going to make a mask out of a purse. And that was just for Brett Hayes, by the way.
Good night, Rue.
Good night, Rue.
Scott Pointer, hello, Alan and crew from the Alabama crew. I just got home. Glad I didn't miss you.
We're here. Turns out I'm working. I'm sure you're shocked.
What are you spraying on your hair?
This is glossifier. It's hairspray. It's going to act like hairspray because I want the hair on the front of his head to do just that. See that? That's what I want. That is going to sell this this hairdo that Frank has here. And this was this hair direction. It's not quite straight up and down, so I'm spraying it in place. Glossifier makes me sneeze.
So, Brett Hayes of Youth Fans has started a conversation. I'm just going to pass.
Yeah, you let that one go, honey.
Brett shows up. He doesn't pop on. He pops on, asks one question, and he rattles the entire page.
Thanks, Brett Hayes.
Thanks, Brett.
I get to work with Brett Hayes on the Haunted Attraction Association. He and I are both on the board. He's a more important fellow than I, but Frankenstein.
I'm getting a lot of blessings now. They show me the neck rolls up.
Doesn't have neck bolts unless they ask for it.
Let's see. Alan, if you look to your right side of your head, there's a small white strip showing you the top and the side. Is it still there?
On the mask? Yes, I want there to be actually, well, there isn't now, I've combed it over, but I do these as 2 plates, and see this scar? This scar carries all the way around. So if you separate the hair, you can see the scar on his head, which I like. To me, that's a feature. Yeah, here's part of it. Yeah, you can see the scar that he's got that runs all the way around. And I like that. I think there should be a little bit of separation where that hair doesn't grow. So that's kind of a plan.
So, talking about making a first mask out of first, do you mean a first mask made on the Haunt channel? Because it's the YouTube channel.
I would do it on this channel, Still Be Studio, as a YouTube Wednesday.
Lots of blessings. Realms, looking good. I'm looking for ideas for the haunted trail next year. Building time's getting close. I'm a little scared. What you gonna do, Realms? What's your
theme?
What's your theme gonna be? Cobweb says belts are only $1 at Goodwill. Susan the Time says, I think you watch more Victorian dramas than you let on. You just use the words, don't they look fetching?
Well, I have been watching a lot of Hammer horror movies lately.
Brett Hayes, I am a legend in my own mind.
You are indeed.
You are awesome. That's what that makes sense. Oh my goodness, Brett. Susan the Time says Frankie looks awesome. Chris Derry Rose Elrod says, oh my god, that looks amazing.
Now let's go to Jack Frost.
Abdul Von Grade looks killer.
Also, Brett Hayes, tomorrow I'm pouring up Anubis. The mold is right here. Here is the mold. So I'm pouring up an Anubis to start playing with that and getting that ball rolling. So that's exciting.
Would you need to do another latex brushing? Rob was asking.
Oh, give me a second. Yes.
Thanks, Rob. Okay.
All right. And now it's time for a break.
Brett Hayes says awesome. John C. says, no, that's Haunt Channel. Chanel, the person, Haunt Chanel.
Oh.
Sorry, John, I was
Haunt
reading too
Chanel.
fast. I got you, John. Sorry about that, I was reading it too quickly. The Haunt Chanel.
Okay, so earlier I got a little bit of blue ink on this mask. Not that big of a deal because of the blue run out I'm going to do, but I still want to clean it before I paint it.
Rob O'Brien is singing Tina Turner, Finn Gudwell. Hey, Alan, I think you've explained it before, but what was the reason Frankenstein's monster had the cylindrical cranium? I can't remember.
Because, all right, so when you put a cadaver back together, the brain is going to swell. And there's no room to swell inside of a human brain case. You don't have, that's why people die when there's brain swelling. There's no place for your brain to go. Think about when you get stung by a bee and how big your hand can get, or how big your thumb can get, or how big your lip can get. The skull protects the brain, but if the brain swells, there's no place for it to go. So there's a period of brain swelling, or if there's an infection or something that they have to deal with, and you have to have room inside of that head case in order for him not to die just from a swollen brain. So that is a buffer zone in case the brain swells. So they take apart, they do a calvernum cut. The calvernum cut, every time you see a fake skull or a medical skull that has that cut right across here, that's called a calvernum cut. They did the calvernum cut, and instead of putting it right back on, they built it up and made a new one. So there you go.
Do you have any videos on fiberglass molds?
I do. I have one video on making fiberglass sconces for a castle haunted house.
Rome says, I don't know yet. I was thinking, I know I want to start with an old house, have a doll room and a kitchen and a living room. And you go out in the woods and werewolves and then a cemetery and then some clowns. Just kidding.
Killing me, Realms. Killing me.
Suzette says, clean it with what?
I'm using 99% alcohol. Because if there's a problem, alcohol will solve it. Contrary to what they tell you at school.
Cat Swift says, of course he would know why the cranium is shaped like that. He knows everything about monsters.
I don't know everything about monsters. And I make a lot of crap up, okay? Let's be real.
Cobweb says, because his brain was abnormal. Grab UK says, no, stay away from the fiberglass.
Yes, Graphic UK does say in a video how to work with fiberglass. And it was, get a friend to do it. Don't work with fiberglass.
Rob O'Brien says, Bradley is a master of fiberglass stuff.
I'm going to send all my fiberglass work to Graphic UK. You know what I hate as much as fiberglass? It's Bondo. Because Bondo does not give me a warning of when it's going to kick. It's like, I'm happy paste and now I am a rock that you're going to cut yourself on.
Cat Swift says, and yet he is making another fiberglass dragon.
When I say go make stuff, I don't always mean good choices.
Ruggedly Handsome says, if there was a problem, alcohol will solve it.
No, it doesn't stole my stupid email.
Alpha Wolf 74551. Hey boss, how you doing with all of this virus stuff? How are your actors holding up? Are they wearing masks with their characters?
Well, we haven't opened. We haven't opened since the virus hit really hard. Dark Hours is not built in a way where we could stay 6 feet away. It didn't work for us. So I did not think we could do it safely, so we did not do it. And at one point, we're not legally allowed to do it. So, okay, here we go. And I'm not going to airbrush this. I'm just going to paint this guy with brush for now.
Renee says, for the one fiberglass mold I made, we mixed Bondo and fiberglass resin for the first coat.
Yep, that is your, Bondo patch. Good stuff.
Dead End Yard Haunt, is there anything alcohol can't do? Realms,
No.
Realms says, I'm with Alan, clowns have been done so much. Do you have any more ideas for the trail? Because there might be a bigger trail this year.
Well, I'm going to give you cheap ideas because I don't know your budget. So let's say right off the back, inbreds are always inexpensive. Zombies are always inexpensive. And one of the reasons why zombies are overdone is because they're so inexpensive. But what else is inexpensive? I don't know where you live, but it's quite possible that tiki is inexpensive because the costumes are not expensive to do.
John City says, one of Frank's party tricks was to balance a huge stein of beer on his head. Suzette Bradley says, you are so smart, Alan.
I don't know about that. I get by.
Oh, Mimi says, another haunter said that cliche that a haunt isn't bad as long as you do something unique or unexpected. What do you think?
I completely agree. And I don't know that haunted house patrons are sick of clowns. I don't think that they are yet. I think that, but most of what we do in a haunted house, it's for us. It's not for them. They don't care. They're happy if they go through black hallways and a guy in a black robe and a skull mask jumps out of them. 90% of your customers are happy with that if it's done well. What we do is for us. We dress it up for us. We make the sound system amazing for us, not for them. So he's absolutely right. And in some ways, so here's how design works. Here's how design works. There is design that everybody is comfortable with and familiar with. This is design that everybody is comfortable with and familiar with. And this is comforting. This is, you have met their expectations. If you take that design and you go one step over the line, I'm now one step over the line. This is innovative. This is innovative, exciting, and new and fresh. Whatever it is, you've done something that feels different and it feels like it's extended. It got better. If you go here, you've gone too far. You can't be 2 steps ahead of the design of people because they're used to this. This is what they expect to see. And you can't stretch your customer's brain this far. You'll get 4 or 5% of them to follow along with you, but in general, nah, you don't need it. You know, sometimes I just want to see a skeleton.
Our Beauty says trolls are inexpensive too.
Trolls can be. Whatever it is, work it into a storyline, you know. You can find a way to make anything inexpensive if you do it right.
Cobweb says Bondo brand filler sucks. Happen to Mojo, what is a good brand of filler?
There's one that I buy, but I buy it from a store called English Color, and I don't have any right now. I actually looked over there a second ago. I don't have any right now, but and I don't know it until I see it.
Cobweb suggested Rage Gold filler.
Okay.
Brett Hayes, clowns are a cheap gag, end of story. People who are afraid of clowns will be afraid of one in the fluid rooms. Too easy, there I said it.
Yeah, it is. It is. And also something else, a clown-themed haunted house. Clown-themed haunted house. This is my opinion on my however many years in the industry. Maybe I'm wrong. That's entirely possible. And I will listen to other arguments wholeheartedly, and if I think you're right, I'll say, hey, you're right and I'm wrong. So, clown-themed haunted houses. People who are truly terrified of clowns, who have a real phobia, won't go in. They won't go in. So the only people going through are people who are not afraid of clowns. They're a little bit afraid of clowns, and they're afraid of being in a haunted house setting. They're afraid of bold characters and masks because they're aggressive. So you have to use the regular haunted house tricks in a clown house in order for the clown house to be effective. That means that you could have done an innovative theme and just used those good haunted house tricks with that innovative theme skin, as opposed to another clown house. But you say people love the clown house and clown houses are successful, so it's not necessarily true. Here is where the other side of that comes in. A clown costume is the only costume, one of very few costumes, not the only. I try never to speak in absolutes because you're going to be wrong at some point. A clown costume will tell the actor what to do. When you put on a clown costume, the costume whispers to you have an annoying laugh and be a butthole to people. That's what the costume whispers to you. And then, so the actors know what to do. So then, you have a group of actors who are out acting other people, because when you put on a werewolf costume, sometimes it's such a big costume it shuts you down. And you have to act past your costume to be good. And the costume doesn't tell you what to do. So, clown house actors are normally more engaged and they're more bold because they have that character kind of telling them what to do. So, there you go.
Ron Shep says, my wife and I have been to so many different scare attractions, I'm sick of seeing clowns everywhere.
Also, clown houses are normally better lit than other haunted house themes. They tend to run darker. So the actors can see the guest reactions better. So the actors are more fueled by guest reaction. And that kind of starts this whole prophecy of, well, they're more scared in here. Or you can see them be scared better because it's not as dark. The actor can remember it better because it's better lit.
Do you always base out in white for Frost? I know you normally do black.
Normally I do black, but for Frost I do white.
Alpha Wolf says those are the best haunts when they have a backstory. Suzette Bradley says this would be a great goblin mask. I agree.
This was originally a goblin mask.
Yeah. Lewis McLam says hello.
But it's too big. It's a little too big to be a goblin mask, and that's why the goblin mask I sculpted a few Wednesdays ago and molded. When I pour that up, that'll be my new goblin mask.
John C. says, I don't drink, but I get by with a little haunt from my friends.
Yeah.
Hayes says, for the most part, customers do not want to use their imagination at all. We did away with our movie scenes in 2011, and people are still complaining about no Freddy, Jason, or Michael.
Yes.
Katsu says, I absolutely agree. My youngest has always been terrified of clowns. She won't go near something if she thinks it might have a clown.
Right.
Jim Harrington says, how do you do a carnival fair funhouse haunted house with using less or few clowns?
Well, I've been to a crap ton of carnivals. I've never seen a clown at a carnival. Like, not once. I might see a picture of a clown, but I see carnies. So maybe your carnival is an old family carnival, and they've been traveling the country for over 100 years. And maybe they don't stay in one place long enough to meet other people. Maybe on lonely carnival nights, they've turned to other family members. And you could have a really sweet and scary inbred carny haunted house by following that logic down a few flights of stairs. So there you go. And you don't need a clown for that, and that could be terrifying. Look at the movie Funhouse.
Bob O'Brien says any good costume should give you hints too. Chad Smith says, I thought I was wrong once, turned out I was mistaken.
Happened to me once too.
Cat Smith says her sisters were always hiding a small clown doll in her room, dresser, drawers, jackets, etc. Siblings. Adrian Cunningham, hey Alan, that creation is going to come to life and eat you and your cookies.
Yeah, no one gets my cookies.
Chad Smith says, I have problems using my white paint. Doesn't seem to be enough pigment to cover them. What type of paint do you use?
I use 2 coats of white paint.
Todd Webb says, clowns are the lowest common denominator. Michelle Schulte says, have a great night. We'll catch you a little bit tomorrow. Good night, Michelle.
Thank you.
Suzette Bradley says, so true, Alan. Alpha Wolf says, like for my haunt this year, depending on the virus, we are doing 7 circles of hell. Each part of the room has different scents.
That's cool.
Mr. Just Rescue, hello. Been helping with the theater with the North Pole tour. Misty, I loved your costume.
Yeah, your Snow Queen costume was great.
You look beautiful. That's so sweet. I love it. Let's see, Brett Hayes, I should give props to the only clown scenes I've ever loved. Haunted House Phobius, 1930s carnival style clowns. Innovative and really cool. Also, mostly shot over customers' heads.
Yeah, they don't get the story. Not for them.
Adrian Cunningham, the roof is going to turn into a horror movie. Everything is coming to life at any given second. Hang on, baby. Give it back to you. Oh. Right, so now I have to watch Funhouse.
Oh yeah, very scary movie.
Is that an air gun or a heat gun?
This is a heat gun, and it has a rocker switch trigger, and this turns it on, and this is useless. It doesn't do anything. Always use high.
Now, would you ever want to hook up with another haunt and make a massive haunt?
No. I have worked for haunted parks that had 8 owners, and there was a shooting. I don't like haunts that even have a lot of partners. It's because artists are hot-headed, and then you throw money into the mix if the haunt gets successful, or if it doesn't become successful. I don't. When I have haunted house partners, I have to, in my brain, say, I'm okay walking away from this money to keep the friendship. And I don't think a lot of people are ready to do that. I don't like multiple partners in haunts.
Steve just rescue says, thanks. The kids thought it was cool when I made snow come out of my farm.
Cool.
Louis McLam, when you do a glue wash on a Jack Frost to mix latex and water in the paint, and do you use regular latex paint?
I'm going to do my wash with actual ink, okay? I'm going to do it with ink. I'm going to do one more coat of white here, and then once I do that other coat of white, then I'm going to, I'm actually going to clear coat it before I finish painting it. So I'm going to do some paint work on it with a brush, and then I'll clear coat it, and then I'll do the wash.
Revenue K is thinking about making a clown dragon. It's a joke.
Scott Colehart, ban him. Ban him for 5 minutes. Ban him for 5 minutes.
It's a joke.
Clown
Thank God,
dragon.
Rolf, I truly believe you are correct on the anti-feng shui, Alan. That right there is a key for a creepy, uncomfortable haunt. I think all haunters need to watch your video series on that subject. It's superb.
So I'm going to disagree with you on one thing, and that's speaking in absolutes. Not all haunters. One of the most beautiful things about haunted houses is that each haunt can be a reflection of its owner or its director's ideas and vision. They don't all have to do the same thing. They don't all have to do it the same way. It's wonderful when I go through a haunted house that doesn't do stuff the way that I do it. And yet it works anyway. You know? That's a nice thing. Where I'm not going to fold up, and all haunts should be safe. All haunts should be as safe as they possibly can be. That's something I'm not going to yield on. But as far as design and creativity, go nuts. Do I think, because it's going to happen eventually, do I think that McCamey Manor is a haunted house? No, I don't. Do I think that he has a right to do the style of show that he's doing? I do. I don't like that he calls it a haunted house. I don't like that the media calls it a haunted house. But, and the Haunted Attraction Association has a real good piece on McCamey Manor and how it's kind of not a haunt. I think he has a right to do it. It's not my style. I hate it. But he has a right to do it. And that's where the art comes in. It's just a different style. And he's certainly, you build your audience. Because the people who don't like what you're doing won't come back. People who like what you're doing will come back. and they'll tell other people like them. So every haunt audience is different. The people who love Dark Hour will probably not love Haunted Hoochie because it's a very different show. It doesn't mean that they're haunted house people. It's they like that flavor. And one of the things that opened up my eyes to local flavor was the fact that the MHC was in Columbus, Ohio for so long. And I talk about clowns. Columbus has got some clowns. But their actors have a flavor. They have a way that they work and the way that they act. And then it moved to Chicago. Only 1 year so far. But the actors in Chicago, they have a style. They have a way that they do things. And it's a little different from haunt to haunt, but it's still a very Chicago style of acting. I think the internet and the accessibility to see all the videos and pictures of other people's styles is going to homogenize the haunt industry a little bit. And what I mean by that is, in the 50s, if you went to Chicago, you would have all these great mom and pop Chicago restaurants. And now, if you go there, you might have some of those, like 5%, but the rest is chains, and you could eat anywhere. And chains are happening because the ideas are all coming out of the same pot right now. They're all coming out of the same pot. And it's a detriment to our industry because you can go to Atlanta and see a haunted house in Atlanta, not Netherworld, but a haunted house in Atlanta that is just like a haunted house that's in Austin. That is just like a haunted house that's in Colorado. They're still mom and pop haunts, but they're drawing from the same idea bucket as everybody else in the country. That's the internet. How do we fix that? It is the job of the haunted house vendor to, remember what I talked about earlier? Take that one step to the side of design and comfort and push the industry forward. And we had a lull for a while where I think a lot of vendors were drawing their ideas from other vendors. Or even worse, listening to haunted house owners about what they want. Why is that bad? Because, I hate to say this, most people are not creative. 95%, I would say, are not creative. Maybe it's 80. I could be wrong. That's a figure that I'm pulling out of my butt and I'm making it up. I know that. But most people, I feel, are not creative. And haunted house owners are most people. They're all people, turns out. And they want what they see. I see them doing that, and that works for them. I want to do it. But I want mine different, so make it brown instead of green. You know, and that's their creativity. It happens. I see that as a vendor. So I have to provide things that you're not going to get from somebody else. You're not going to see at someone else's home. That's my job. That's what I have to do. That's my business model. I want to introduce a product to the haunt industry. I want other vendors to rip me off. And then the industry has that thing that I thought it needed, and I can move on to the next thing. I don't mind it.
Adrian Cunningham says, have you heard of Relic the Clown and Really Vodka the Clown? Relic is Adrian from his film.
Well, there's two relics. Yeah, I heard of some clowns. Yes, I have heard of some clowns.
What is the biggest reason you've seen artists not make it in the industry?
Okay, so there's two reasons. A combined, I'm going to sound like a butthole, a combined lack of effort, not talent, effort, because you don't have to have talent if you have effort. I have a high effort with not a lot of natural talent. I'll be honest with you. My early work was not good. I made bad masks for 10 years until I started working on my sculpture. and then getting better. So a lack of effort, those design choices that I was just talking about, because they're not taking that step. If someone says, I'm going to start a mask company, I know they're going to have a zombie, a skull, and a clown, and maybe some kind of a generic monster, maybe a werewolf if they're not afraid of hair work. That's what they're going to have. You know, I know their first 5 or 6 masks that they're going to do. I shouldn't know that.
Renee says, nearly everything we do in our haunts is for ourselves. That's okay. It's something no one would do but for the love of it. Most customers would be happy with black walls and strobe lights.
Yeah. When I put my stuff out there, I want 30% of it to be things that I have no idea if it's going to sell or not. 30% I think is a good number. I don't know if it's going to sell or not. I have no idea. But it might be one step over the line. You know, I've had plenty of times where I was 2 steps over the line. 2000, what year did I take Krampuses to Transworld? 10 or 11? 11. I brought a bunch of Krampuses to Transworld. No one knew who they were. So, you know, I didn't sell the Krampuses very well. I ended up selling them, but they were discounted. Now those same masks I could sell no problem because people know who Krampus is. So sometimes you're 2 steps over the line. But you have to have a percentage of what you're doing as a haunter, in my opinion, to push the industry forward. And not just double down on what we already have. Whether that is inbreds, clowns, zombies, manor-themed haunts, whatever it is.
Why do you clear coat before finishing the paint?
So what is the clear coat going to do? The clear coat is going to give a little bit of a slippery surface, and I'll get more of the rub out off because of that clear coating. It's going to be a way to make this resist the rub out a little bit. I don't want the ink to stain this white paint. It could do that, but not if I clear coat it. But first I want to paint a little bit of I got to do a little bit of brush work.
Spook Shacks, it's been fun watching tonight. Thanks for the live shows.
Glad you're enjoying it. I'm doing a lot of haunted house theory talking that I don't normally do.
Puppet Master, each haunt can be your own personal love letter.
Without doubt, yes it can.
It's our Puppet Master.
Don't be afraid to be different in your theme. Don't be afraid to make artistic choices that make you different.
Hey, Puppet Master.
Hello!
Cat Swift, Alan, do you think there is an optimum amount of time for a person to be in a haunt? Closed facility, not like Universal Theme Park, is there too long of a time?
20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you kind of get desensitized. And if you have enough room to do a 40-minute walkthrough, you'll make more money if you have 2 separate shows that each have a ticket price.
Ted Smith, there is a customer base for those extreme torture experiences. I will never do one, but there is a customer base for it.
Sure.
Johnson, John C., I think you're talking about Russ McKinney because I am way behind right now. Alpha Wolf is based out of Chicago.
Big screen back up?
Sure.
Okay.
No, it's right here, fine. John C. wanted to know if Russ McKinney was treated differently at Transworld.
He comes and he always videos the show, and not uncommon for him to buy some things from my booth, some masks and things. But no, I mean, is he treated like? I don't think so.
If he is, we don't see it.
Yeah. You know, and he's got his crowd too. So at some folks, you know, he's treated like a celebrity, and he is. I mean, he's been on specials, and he certainly has his audience. That's fine. I don't begrudge him that. It doesn't make me angry that he's popular and his show is popular. Not in the least. Good for him.
Brett A. says, this flavor is called intoxication. I need to be quiet.
Well,
Let's see. Chad
well.
Smith says, super boring if everyone did the same thing.
Yes.
Warmonger says Russ McNamee is just a psychopath disguised as a business owner.
I mean, I'm not here to hate on anybody, you know. He has the right to run his show the way that he wants, unless unless he doesn't. But that's not that's not up for us to decide. That is wherever he's at, his locality, his local legislature. That's for them to decide. Do I wish he didn't do it? I don't even think so. I think that I'm cool with it being a thing, but I don't want to be involved in it. I don't want to do it. I don't even want to hear it or talk about it because it's not interesting to me.
Jim Harrington, what is your opinion on the sudden surge of black light or glow-in-the-dark themed areas and attractions? I like the idea, but I feel like it's going to end up being a zombie hall and fair.
No, I think we need it right now. I think we need a couple years of blacklight shows because blacklight kills the virus. Strong UV light kills the virus. So right now, if your show isn't blacklight, I beg you, put some blacklights in there. All it's going to do is help filter some of the air and kill some of the virus a little bit faster. So that all of these respiratory particles from people breathing in your show and actors screaming in your show, a little bit, every little bit helps. If you can kill 15% of the virus in the air, why wouldn't you do that? So, yeah. Right now, I think it's awesome.
Ashley Russell says 96% of all statistics are made up.
That's quite possible.
Alpha Wolf, Chicago has a lot of haunted stories to begin with. If you look up Bachelor's Grove, is our own haunted graveyard, or Resurrection Mary, we pulled from that to build our haunts stories here.
Yeah. Yeah, and your actors are chatty, and they have a grossness and they have a style. That's cool. I don't mind that at all. I think it's awesome.
Chad Smith says, I believe it is best to see what several people do, piecemeal what you like, and make something your own.
You can do that.
Suzette Bradley, did you ever attend House of Shock in New Orleans?
Yes, yeah. Not while it was open. I got a backstage behind the scenes tour.
Adrian Cunningham, I found out while speaking with Relic the Clown in private chat that he is the same Relic the Psycho Clown who lived in England. He happened to change his name when he moved back to America. So we are talking about a different person.
Yep.
Suzette Bradley says House of Shock is closed now.
Is that true? I don't know if it's true or not. You know what? Unfortunately, they're one of those haunted houses that had that. This is our last year, and they did that for 3 years, and eventually people believed them, and they had a hard time with that. I think they're still kicking in some capacity. Hangman's up here did that too before they moved. They're like, this is probably our final year. You better come see us. Well, third year you do that, no one comes to see you because they think you're closed. And this paint job right now, it looks like a walrus butthole. Okay, it's a terrible paint job, but the work that we do with the wash is going to fix that.
Renee says it's now New Orleans Nightmare, 13th floor, purchased it.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, so they're kind of still around and kicking.
Jordan Bunsey, hi Jordan.
What's up, buddy?
I really enjoy hearing you speak on haunts and haunt vending. It helps me as an artist and a set builder see a bigger picture.
Well, I'm glad.
Suzette Bradley says, will you keep this mask, Alan, or trash it for a new goblin you sculpted?
Well, this mask is now Jack Frost because it's too big to be a goblin. It's too big of a head. I made it too large. So it's a good Jack Frost. It'll stay Jack Frost. And the new goblin that I made is a goblin.
Adrian Cunningham says, hey, Alan, has anyone told you that you have ladylike eyes?
No. I do get told I have long lashes.
Very green eyes.
Are they green today? They're very green?
Enigma says, is there a way to make a haunt with few jump scares and not a lot of actors, or will it not work well?
That's 2 steps past the line. That's not what people are used to. Unfortunately, your guests have expectations, and if you don't meet their expectations, they're going to say you're bad, as opposed to that was different. So right now, a lot of it's jump scares. Now, I don't know how much style. Most haunts didn't change style-wise very much, not enough. I hate to say, but if they had to change style-wise, kept that 6-foot distance and been a little more theatrical, worked on their silhouettes of actors a little bit more, and given the actors a better introduction visually, then I think that could have been a shift towards a style breaking off from the Buja Matcha haunts that we mostly have right now.
Greg Hayes says many of the same actors and staff are still on board at.
Yes.
Edson Hughes says, sounds like we're seeing on a Jedi Master speech. Master Hops, we're just your pebble.
You have to understand, I've been doing this a long time and I have opinions. It doesn't mean that I'm right, and it doesn't mean that someone saying something completely different than what I'm saying isn't right too. Okay? The acting style in Chicago is different from the acting style when I was at haunts in Boston. And that's different from the haunts in Texas. But it doesn't mean that one of them is bad. It's a style difference. So I don't think of myself as a master. I am a student. I'm very much a student. Everything that I'm saying to you is just one of my observations as I'm trying to learn this thing.
Captain Mojo says, so basically it still exists under newer ownership.
Yeah.
Gregory Hayes, hey Alan, I just ordered double cap ribbons, a fastener tool, and elastic band. I wish I could have ordered from you as an affiliate.
One day. I'm sorry.
Realm says, you know,
Sometimes you're too busy to make money, guys. That's how it works.
you know the car that comes out at you? How can I make one if I can't find any videos on it?
Okay. So you have a couple options. I would go to Harbor Freight. If you're going to be on an outside trail, a smooth surface is key, but you don't need a lot of it. Hang on one sec. What did I need? Oh, this. So lay yourself down 2 pieces of plywood. All right, for your trail, that's your track that is perpendicular to the trail. Perpendicular to the, here's your trail. Here's your 2 pieces of plywood. And buy the biggest push cart that they have for tools at Harbor Freight and build your fake car front on the front of that out of, if you want to go cheap, don't use cardboard. That's going to fall apart in the rain. Use core flute, which is the political sign material stuff. Build it out of that. And you can look online and you can find a Pepakura pattern for like a Jeep or a car of some kind. Look for Pepakura pattern, because that is the art of folding paper, and you can make anything pretty much with a Pepakura pattern. And people make paper cars all the time. So look for a simple Pepakura, P-E-P-A-K-U-R-A pattern, and then you build that out of the core flute, and then and scale it up with a projector onto a wall, and then you have a car front, 2 of the biggest LED spotlights that you can get your hands on, rig them both up to 1 trigger, and then put a car horn on it also from Harbor Freight. You can put a car battery right on your Harbor Freight tool cart, lock it down because you don't want that flopping around, and trigger that into the handle of the push cart, and that is a great car for trails. So I hope all of that was processable, and you can always rewind it and watch again later.
Alpha Wolf says, Alan, I have to say that you were one of the main people that got me into this world. You and I have chatted for a while at MWH in 2012.
Midwest Haunters Convention.
I have,
Wait. Midwest Haunters. MHC or Midwest? Wait. West Coast Haunters? Anyway, I'm glad we talked.
I had a booth right next to you. I was selling money sets.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Brett Hayes, we retrained totally for COVID. We focused on maximum spectacle, being larger than life, and seemed to work well with social distancing.
A lot of haunts didn't do that. And just like we've talked about, a lot of haunts that did kind of got hit a little bit in reviews. But it's not the same. The world is not the same.
Suzette Bradley, the mortuary is opened as a Christmas haunt. Have you attended it?
No, I haven't. I have been doing a Christmas haunt of my own for a while, but I did not do it. We're not doing it this year, so I don't think it's a good idea for me to do a lot of traveling. Texas is such a hot spot. I don't want to bring my cooties into your neighborhood.
Do you know where Bart Butler is working now?
Yes, he's working at Terror in the Corn with Michael Edwards and Greg Allen. Yeah. Those are all great guys, all of them.
All right.
In Colorado.
Adrian Cunningham, Tom Lister, who played Devo in Next Friday, just passed away.
Tiny Lister, yes. He also played Zeus.
Have you poured out the molds?
No, but the alarm hasn't gone off yet. I still have time.
Malcolm Wolf said Midwest Haunters, Ohio.
Okay. And what I put on was clear coat. The problem with that is it is high gloss clear coat. I'll never know if it's dry.
Well, says, okay, thanks. But what if I want to put a real car in front of it because I know where I can get one?
Oh, a unicorn?
A real car.
Well, you're going to have a hard time pushing the car. The car is going to be very heavy. So that's up to you. Now, there are ways to do that, but it involves building a truss. So just because you can get a car doesn't mean it's a good idea to get a car. Every day on Craigslist, there are 5 free pianos because no one wants to move a piano. Can you move a car or a part of a car safely every time a group goes through your haunt? Safe once is easy. Safe and repeatable, that's hard.
Justin Hill says, you and those 3 would be my pick for grabbing a drink or drink show.
Come on.
Is that too long?
Alexa, how much time is left on my countdown? No.
You don't have any notifications.
Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
You have 11 minutes left on your 2-hour and 30-minute timer.
I have 11 minutes, thank you very much.
Suzanne, he's got 11 minutes. It hasn't gone off. But thank you.
It's like I'm paying attention. I'm not, but it's like I am. Nice when it works out that way. So when you're doing a wash, it is important that you have enough wash to do the whole thing when you start. Because if you have to mix up another wash, it may not be exactly the same, and you'll see that. I'm going to use my favorite airbrush in the world. If I was trapped on a desert island, and I could only have one airbrush, I would want this one. And I say desert island. Maybe I meant deserted island. But I'm not even sure which one is correct. Deserted island makes more sense in the realm of no one else is on it. But a desert island would be even harder to survive on because there's no water.
Does that mean it's zombie snip time?
Well, no, I don't. I have enough wash. I have enough wash to do at least this layer. And I need my spray bottle of alcohol.
142 on, and you're gone for 2 hours. Mine is 7 minutes to 10.
Hi, everybody. So I won't get his beard done tonight, but I will get this wash done, which is almost all of his painting. Then I'll do those pours, and then we'll probably wrap for the night. Just getting my rag nice and alcohol-y to rub off my rub out. I'm gonna stand up like I'm working.
Has Stan finished the zombie snail shredder?
I don't know. I think so. You're asking the hard questions tonight. So this wash is just too light. Like I can tell by looking at it, it's too light. So I'm gonna go ahead and I will clean this bit like I'm doing a wash. But I'm gonna add blue to that because that's the one that I did for Old Man Winter. It's hard to look at a wash and see how much alcohol is in it. Like I imagine it's hard to look at a drink and see how much alcohol is in it. But I need to boost this wash content. That was too sparse. And that was a lot of ink. So now this will be more power. Ah, ah, ah. Look at that. See the difference? Whoa! That's why I love this airbrush too, man. I can just cover ground with this baby. And I'm not worried about it drying on there and ruining everything, simply because I've got that nice barrier on there with the, that crap I put on it, the high gloss. Okay. And now my goal is to take off a good bit of this. I don't want to take it all off. Remember the walrus butthole of a paint job that I had on there beforehand? That is just a blender underneath. And that's going to soften all of the hardness of this blue. But because I put the gloss protector on there, I'm not going to rub off any of the other paint. I'm going to get that nice lavender under the eye that I want.
Bradley says the other color was more purple.
No, it was blue too. It was just less blue. This is like punch you in the face blue, and you cannot deny its blueness.
Well, then it has super chatted us $5.
Thanks, Paul.
With the understanding that you will sing in an operatic voice Bo makes from at the end of this live video.
See, I can just mouth it, and Paul won't know.
So very wrong.
That is wrong. You're right.
Terrible.
You're right. I probably should.
Jack269 says hello.
Hello, Jack269. See, and now all the blue is staying in the depths, but it's coming off of the outer stuff. All the high points still have the white, and that is what's going to give him this superior frostiness. Sounds like I'm selling beer. That superior frostiness.
Oh boy, I think I missed it. What's in the spray bottle?
99% alcohol. We are having a tussle. And I just want to make sure that I'm taking it off kind of evenly. I don't want more on one side than the other. And I'm pretty happy with this. If it is too heavy, I can dry brush with white paint again over top of that. But I think I'm pretty happy with it. So right now my rag is super saturated.
John F. Harvey says outstanding. Skin and Bones asks, how are the fumes?
How are the what?
Fumes.
This is just like, it's like isopropyl alcohol. That's the only fume. Now granted, when you want to kill an insect for entomology, you put them in a little jar with alcohol. But right here, I have an air scrubber that is working his little butt off. He is on high.
Suzette Bradley says beer, and Warmhunter says the Jack Frost Brewing Company. Chad Smith says, I love that color blue.
All right, there we go. And that is ready for his that is ready for his ice beard and all that stuff. So there. Now I'm probably right on target to pour out my masks. So let's go do that. Shouldn't need glasses for that. Put these back in the drawer so I know where to look for them.
Al Mantra Art. Al says, great, I like that.
It's a good color. And I think I poured up the witch first. So we unload it first. And honey, I can hear you just fine if you want to keep talking. If there are questions.
James Bill says it's so much quieter here.
Well, there's 3 big air scrubbers going in that other room because I want to live. Push up that ear section one last time. Plenty thick, I can tell. This brush is...
Where are the puppies tonight?
They have been roughhousing behind me pretty much all night. Lift with your legs, not your back. It's stable. Now if the mold falls, it just lands on the table, not on the ground. And my chair is free.
Cat Smith says, how many other people hold their breath when he does this? And Lisa Aaron says, let's get dangerous. No, you're making me nervous, Alan. Scarecrow 77 says, let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous. When you're in trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck. I love that someone shared their Darkwing Duck cosplay on the Creepers page. That was awesome. Here's Whiplash. He's filled up with good thickness in there.
Almonte says that fungus is awesome.
Hey, thanks. Alexa, stop.
Alan, have you ever dropped and destroyed one of your favorite molds?
No. Because destroyed is a very strong word. And we can rebuild it. We have the technology. We can make it stronger, faster, better than it was before. We have the technology. So yeah, no, I haven't dropped it. I've just dropped and cracked one in half. Beast mode rolled off the table. and broke into 4 pieces. And so there's beast mode right there, all strapped up, and he's poured up again. And I'm going to foam him to make a new mold off of that. I'm going to make a 1-piece mold though. Alexa, count down 6 minutes.
6 minutes, starting now.
Realms, do you have any cool, scary scarecrow masks? Because I'm trying to get one I like before I decide to sculpt one.
I have a couple scarecrow masks. I have, honey, what's the name of the one that I made? Carnivore. Carnivore is a like a woody scarecrow, and it comes with a pumpkin face. So it's a mask wearing a mask. I think that's a real fun design that I haven't really seen much of.
You also did a YouTube Wednesday burlap.
Oh, I did a burlap scarecrow too, but I taught you how to do that. So I think scarecrows are best kind of when they're not sculpted and molded. It's real nice to take a skull mask and make a scarecrow out of that. Those are great options.
Cat Swift says, isn't there a scarecrow mask on the website? Cat, the board's on there, but the YouTube Wednesday one that he made sold. But the video's out there on how to make it very inexpensively.
But don't we also, is the still costume scarecrow mask on the website?
Yeah, he's on there too.
Okay.
And that's the LED.
Yeah, so I have an LED scarecrow mask that I do for a scarecrow costume.
Skin and Bone says, yes, a $6 million Allen. Finn Goggle says it could cost you $6 million. Alan says $6 million mold.
No.
Chad Smith says, Alan, I'm thinking of doing something that would be cool for you to do. I'm going to take a group photo. Bowl masks I made this year. You should do that. It's a great way to look back.
Who's got that kind of time?
Good
Like,
night.
I bet I've made 30 masks this year. I made a lot of masks this year.
John C. says the Skeletor mold pushed it.
He pushed it and said, "You buggling buffoon! You flea-bitten fur brain!" Currently, I'm waiting for latex to drain. Okay. Oh.
You showing them how the crops is coming along?
I think I want from this stage on to be a surprise for those people.
You gonna surprise them?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, so when Lanny was here for Monster Camp, he left me a werewolf mask. I don't know who sculpted this, but Lanny wants me to paint up one for him, paint and hair one for him. It's a great sculpt. I love this guy.
Pat Swift says it feels like you will be a parent and a rest.
And then he gave me one so I can make one for me. So I've got one right there that I can keep, and that's a wonderful thing. Yes, I am a man in need of some dinner.
And Donald says you sound just like Skeletor as Jim Harrington, have you seen the Skeletor version of the Feliz Navidad Christmas song?
I have not, but I will look now. Now I will look.
Grey House Haunts, that's a great werewolf mask. I love it.
Yeah, isn't that
Grey
nice?
House Haunts.
That's very well done.
I like those guys.
I'm putting my air reel away.
It's already shape, Ken. Add Allen in an emergency, how much would you sell all of your molds and pooled masks? In an emergency, how much would you sell all of your molds and pooled masks?
Well, hold on. Like, if it's like, I think in emergency, like, okay, there's been an earthquake and there's floodwaters coming. I'm not going to sell them. Like, you mean like a financial emergency?
I think he means a financial emergency.
No, because that doesn't make any sense. So here's what I would do in a financial emergency. I don't sell what makes me money. Molds are a cow, and then I sell the milk. Okay? So in a financial emergency, I would go to Bitty Mold Supply, or I would go to Black Lagoon,
or I would go to Fright Props and I would say, I'm in trouble. I will mention you in all my videos and all my social media if you front me 10 gallons of latex. I would use that 10 gallons of latex to make masks. I would sell the masks and then be out of a financial emergency. So you don't, if you're thirsty, you don't sell your cow to buy milk. Don't do that. But I would say each mold has a value of roughly $200 to $300. Some more because those masks sell very well. So there you go.
Suzette Bradley, can you make a mold out of that mask?
Off of which mask? Do you mean the werewolf mask that I showed you?
The one you were just looking at.
Let me be very clear. Technically, yes, I could, but I would never do that because that is me stealing someone else's work. I didn't sculpt that. I don't know who sculpted it. That is theft for me to steal that mask. I would be stealing it if I made a mold of it. If I want another one, I'm going to talk to Lanny and say, hey, can I get another one? And I'm going to reimburse him for that. I'm going to pay him for that. Maybe trade him a blank. But I'm not, Alexa, stop. I'm not going to make a mold of that mask that I never sculpted. That's theft. I'm stealing someone else's intellectual property. And I know that you didn't mean anything by it when you asked. You were just kind of asking, can you? The answer is yes, you can. But you have to really, with great molding comes great responsibility. You have to make sure that you're making good, legal, and ethical choices. If you remold someone else's work, that's theft. You're not being a good artist at that point in time. You're not being an artist at all. You're being a replicator. You're being a thief-erator. Yeah. So I would sculpt the werewolf, but I won't mold that one. Now, so you can take a mask, okay, and you fill that mask with foam. All right, so this is a mask that I filled with foam, and I mold this to make more molds. I mold this to make more molds. So that is something that you got to do. Because sometimes I want more than one mold of the same mask, Sometimes that's necessary because, like Gravedigger is popular. I have 2 Gravedigger molds, so I can make sure that I can pour up enough Gravediggers when I have 10 orders for Gravediggers. I want to be able to knock those out in 5 or 6 days, not 10 days. And you also get mold fatigue, where if you pour up a mold too many times in too many days, it starts getting bubbles in the latex and it starts giving you bad casts if you're pouring up too much. Now, when I set these guys to drain, I was thinking about areas in the mask and how they drain. If the witch has a long chin, you've got to drain it forehead down so it comes out of the chin. But the witch also has pointed ears. So you have to tilt it a little bit so it comes out of the ears. Okay. Now let's do Whiplash. Whiplash is kind of straightforward. He does have some horns on him. You can see these two little bumps up here. He's got horns, so I put those up. And also the fangs go up and the horns go up, so that all drains out the neck.
Do you prefer making a whole head mask or a half mask?
Half mask. And it's not about what I prefer making. It's kind of easier to make whole head masks because you don't have to fabricate or cover anything for the back of the head. But if you make an actor's more comfortable in a half mask. They're going to pick the half mask 9 times out of 10 over a whole head mask because you're putting your head inside of a giant sandwich baggie.
Totally agree with you. Hypothetically, if you wanted another copy for yourself but not for profit, ethically, do you think that's right?
Well, it's not legal because when I got that mask, even if I bought that, I bought the rights to buy it and own it. I did not buy what they call production rights. And production rights are inferred or they have to be purchased separately. Production, the ability to replicate or produce or resale is not with sale rights. Those are two separate things. And the whole concept of, well, you bought it, you can do whatever you want with it. No, you legally can't. And that's not morally right. Somebody made that.
I didn't know just as an extra recast, which was down on in the world of figurines, statues, and marquettes that I would.
I don't use the word recaster too much. I use the word thief. Because you have taken someone else's design and someone else's hard work, you molded it. Big deal. You stole. You stole their work. Now, if you have an agreement and you paid for the rights to do that, that's completely different. But if you didn't, and you just wanted another copy of it, that's theft. Maybe the company is defunct and they're not around anymore. Maybe that mask can't be made anymore and you are a collector and you want to make that as a copy, but you have to be really careful. If you just want one for you, I think it's okay. Destroy the mold. Because even if you, knowing that, and you just want to make copies for yourself, okay, you make copies of 5 or 6 masks because you want to do different paint jobs on them. I hear that a lot. Well, then you get hit by a bus. And you have those 6 molds in your garage. Where do those molds go? You didn't intend to undercut and have other things produced. You didn't intend for that to happen. But, maybe 10 years from now, you've moved on. You have a different hobby. And someone says, well, I'm taking up the hobby of mask making. I have a bunch of crap in my garage I'll give you. And you give those molds away. Well, that person doesn't have that same relationship or knowledge. You've made a thing out of stone. And that could possibly be around longer than you. So you have to be really careful about that and destroy that mold right afterwards if you want one more copy for you because yours is falling apart. Now, turn on the fans. Okay. I'll be very clear here. I do not like the concept. I do not like the concept of Alan Dance Monkey Dance, here's $5. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a toy. However, Paul Bennett requested that I sing my closing line this evening. It is now that time. So, wife, say goodnight. There may come a time when you want me to do something, and you give me super chat money to do it. And I'm going to say no, because I have a little bit of dignity. Not a lot, but I have some dignity. However, good night, and go!